I'm at Grace Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address, and now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle. Just fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah.
You have your doors locked?
It's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
And boom. Hey, Adam.
Hello.
Going live streaming from your channel tonight.
I know, right?
Yep.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not really any different. So.
Yeah. Well, it's live streaming from It's a Crime and Shame as well, of course, as people know, but also from yours. You're the main channel that's hosting this tonight. So go ahead. Yeah, you take over.
Well, I mean, I think we just wanted to come on and, just do a little discussion and live. We don't have to be on for super, super long, but it is Libby's birthday today. And so I know I'd made a video earlier today and a short, well, when I say earlier today, I did it at like 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And Deb beat me to it. She had messaged me and I was like, oh, I'm putting together a little live or a little short for Libby's birthday. And she goes, oh, I just finished mine. I'm trying to pick the music for it. And I was like, oh, well, you're ahead of me. I said, well, maybe I should watch yours first and then I'll just use whatever pictures you do. But no, I thought hers was wonderful. And then I did that. And of course, my idea of a short ended up being 6.5 minutes long. So I couldn't post that on a short because they can only be 60 seconds. So I then had to make another one.
Yeah. Cheers, Sleuth, and congratulations on your over 6K now.
Oh, congratulations, Sleuth.
Yeah. And Grizzly True Crime got a 100K subscribers as well, exactly on Christmas Day. So
good for her. She deserves it. She puts a lot of hard work into her channel, and I respect her and the content she puts out.
Yeah. So.
And Deb got 200 subscribers today.
Oh, nice, Deb. Yeah, it's honestly, as I said in my video earlier, like my twin sister as well, and Deb, and Adam, and that, like I said, and maybe one day Alexa, who knows? But for me, honestly, I just like when people have a niche or a passion about something. Like I said, people have a channel, they can make a channel, they have a voice to be a voice. So for me, it's like whether it was Blaine doing it, like we were just talking about, or why can't I think of her name all of a sudden?
Paige.
Thank you. Why can't that's my niece's name? Yeah. Anyways, so my thing is this: if you have a passion about anything, it doesn't matter what it is. Consider making yourself a YouTube channel, because why not? Even if it takes a while to grow it, at some point that's going to become residual income for you, just off the ads. And so why not do something you're passionate about, in a sense, and also get paid for it by the same token, without talking about donation parts. Those are always appreciated, but the YouTube ads and stuff like that. So again, it's nice to have a platform that you can actually do stuff like this. Right. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And, I think it's funny because I was saying to Sunny earlier, I said, Sunny, you're kind of like the channel creator. You kind of inspired, I mean, I've had my channel for a long time, but I never posted anything on it until the day of the arrest or the hearing. And then, so you kind of inspired Deb, Deb started a channel. And then there was Blaine, and then Paige, and so I was like, who's next? And then you and Lewis, and then your sister.
Yeah,
you're kind of like the new Greeno.
No. Can't call me. Oh yeah, because true enough. I mean, there was a lot of people that came off of Grano. Don't like to admit that, but there was some people, some good, some not so good, some good ones, all the same in that. But regardless, it's like, again, I spent all day yesterday at my twin's house, creating her channel with her. And then like she's like, like again, I'm just sitting beside her, and we're creating. Okay, never, you guys, your biggest headache ever will be the YouTube banner that you put as your backdrop.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and so when you do, honestly, that is your biggest headache, because what you have to realize is that when you do create that, and I personally, twinning. So when you do create, if you do decide that and you want to create your banner, honestly, it has to be a certain pixels, okay? Right. But the thing is that you actually have to create it as like a YouTube thumbnail in a sense, and then create that, because it tells you how many pixels are this way and this way when you're creating your thumbnail, for instance. And then you put that box there and you create it in that box, and you can create it a little bit longer, because what happens when you're creating a channel is that you want it to look just as good for the most part on your YouTube
as a phone,
right? On the phone, TV, on the computer, and on the TV. So if you want to hit all of those elements, you have to design that. That's your biggest headache.
So I made the mistake. I tried to do that when I first did my channel. Like when I first put my channel out there, like I did that, and it looks the same way it does now as I created it, because it had this whole cool little thing about like about the channel on there. But the way that it only shows on there is it just looks like gray speckles.
Oh,
so I need to sit down. I don't think I've ever even put like an about thing on there.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'll help you with that. I will, just to make life a little simpler sometimes, because that will be your worst nemesis, is creating that banner that's in the backdrop. To create your icon, your avatar, your logo, whatever you want to call it, and to create your watermark is easy. 150 pixels by 150 pixels will do it. Okay, and you can create that. But when it comes to that banner at the backdrop, headache city.
Well, and even tonight, like I was, because I was on the YouTube Studio app, which that's all still new to me too. And I'm like, Sunny, why can't I find how to change it to subs only on here? And Sunny had to be like, no, you have to go onto the YouTube, like on Chrome or Safari to do it. Oh, Sleuth, Alexa is down at the bottom. She is our gorgeous profiler, graphologist, OnlyFans star. And now she's not going to show her face, but
all right, I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. What was I just trying to do here? Actually?
Yeah, it's funny because Deb and I have had a few conversations behind the scenes too about, because she's started doing shorts, and I think we put our first shorts out on the same day, or she might have done the day before, but and I was like, Deb, how do you do hashtags on your short?
Oh, really?
And then Deb was like, I don't know.
It's hashtag, yeah. I was gonna say, Sleuth, you knew exactly who that was. I was like, he knows who Lexi is. But I will just show it quickly if you don't mind, Adam. This is my twin sister's channel that we worked on yesterday.
Please.
Yeah.
I thought. By the way, I have to say, your sister, I don't think she's Satan. I kind of thought she was adorable.
What'd you say? You don't think she's Satan?
I don't think she's Satan. I kind of fell in love with her a little bit.
Paula is Satan. Paula.
Okay.
Like, yeah. No, me and my twin, we're just opposite. I'm like the bubbly, outgoing one. She's more of the conservative, likes to be in control. Like, do you know what I mean? We're just totally opposite that way. If any two twins could be opposite that way, we are like totally opposite ends of the spectrum. But then that also is what creates a balance. Like, I love my twin very, very much. So I'm always trying to get her to see like the positive side of stuff like this. So I was very happy when I was talking to her and I said, hey, Tan, like I said, you're so good at this, and this. Why don't you create a channel? My sister would love to have a residual income as time goes, but doing something passionate. And as I said on the Just Asks Lewis and Sunny channel a few minutes back, is that she is an excellent cook. She is an excellent baker and decorator.
When she's a natural on camera,
she is a natural. So anyone that's absolutely into baking or into decorating or into like she does amazing. I'm saying that like she could easily sell her products easily for baking, for cupcakes, for cakes. She just puts like it's her passion, right? Just like when you're passionate about something, it's so easy to do it with love and to look and it for it to look good because that's what you're actually no, that's not true. Okay, I've seen people who claim that they are good at crafts and their crafts kind of suck, to be honest. But hey, but each to their own what they think that is beautiful. But my twin has very, very, very does very beautiful work. She can tell you how to install a light fixture. She can tell you how to. My sister's a handyman as well. She's had to be.
Well, and raising 4 kids on her own, I know that or three kids or 4 kids.
4 kids.
4 kids. She has to be a jack of all trades there. So, and Lisa, I would say that they are both equally fun and smart.
You know what? Correct. We balance each other out. My sister has her forte. She is a numbers person. Okay, so she's that person that
you're YOLO.
She could tell you when I say investment, like she knows exactly how to make her money work for her. Okay, she's very smart. Me, math, no, sucked at it. Don't care. I'm very the opposite. Okay, this is where I wish I was more like my twin. I was always too busy. When I got money, I was going, here you go, son. Here you go, family. Here you go, everybody. Here you go. Here you go. Oh, wait, I'm broke. Whereas my twin is like, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? So my twin knows exactly how to work money. But so she's very well-rounded in her ways. Again, we're both left-handed. We both played sports and stuff like that. And we love creativeness, creating things. And that's really exactly where we balance each other, plus in the sense of, like I said, I just wanted I wanted to get her to use her natural niches or whatever you want to call them. And why not start a YouTube channel as it grows over time, right? You guys, Sleuth will agree, as it grows over time, it's just added income to your family household that can help out because you're doing something passionate. So.
Yeah, and like we're on my channel tonight, which is not because I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so it's not monetized. But we're here to just kind of do a little happy birthday to Libby. So it didn't need to be something for that anyway. It was just it's not about money. It's just about the fact that that beautiful little girl should have been turning 20 years old today, and I'm not going to read it because it might have been private, but I know that some of the family posted. Some very heartfelt things about her today, and I thought they were beautiful. And it just made me tear up thinking about my own niece, my oldest niece is 26, my middle niece is 18, but she'll be 20, and so I definitely, when I was reading it, I could see that all of those things that the family was saying that Libby would be experiencing this on today, turning 20 years old. My niece will be right there in a year and a half from now, so it really hit home, and it just broke my heart for them. But I do admire. I've said it a million times. I admire their strength so much for being able to take their pain and their sadness, and then still be able to focus on all of the happiness they got to experience when she was here. So, and I know that can't be easy.
You know what? Absolutely.
Sorry to turn that real serious for a minute.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because, honestly, we were on the Just Gas Lewis and Sunny channel, and Lewis, by the way, again, prayers for you, Lewis. Hopefully your eye heals up better, because Lewis is having issues with his eyes. So he spent Christmas in the hospital, and he just got out today and stuff like that. But then I asked Adam, I said, hey, Adam, do you want to do a live from your channel? And we'll do it with regards to like Libby's birthday and stuff like that. Try to get Adam again as well, more subscribers so that he can hit the 1K. We've helped True Crime Web out. We've helped CD out and stuff like that. It's just really about helping each other out. Why not? There's plenty of space in the whole YouTube world, regardless of what your niche is, to be part of it. Like my sister says to me, like, who would want to watch me? Like, who would whatever? Again, there's people out there for everything.
I
But
said that to you today when
we
you know
can't hear
because,
you, Alexa.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I would said I would watch her. I love decorating.
Oh.
All that stuff.
yeah.
People that are into cooking.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
Like-
know, like, you know, I got a comment on the video that I put out for Libby's birthday today.
Yeah, are you gonna play it?
Well, yeah, I will. You'll have to play it because I'm still on my iPad, but like, you'll have to share.
Oh, absolutely.
But you know, a family member of Libby's commented on it, which is weird because I made it for Libby, but at the same time, I never would have thought like a family member would have watched it, and it made me feel awkward in a way because I was like, it's so. I mean, I didn't have a personal connection to her, so it almost felt like, you know, it's like awkward that I like made a video for her, even though I did it on a public platform. So then to know that Becky watched it and appreciated it was, I mean, I was so honored, but I was like awkward in a way because I felt like, oh my gosh, it was like that's so personal to them. I was like, you know,
I'm sure she loved it.
I hope so because I mean it was done in love.
Oh, Adam. Honestly, sorry, my husband brought me McDonald's, you guys, and I hate cold French fries from McDonald's.
You always make me hungry.
Sorry, my
You're
husband.
the worst person for the diet. I mean, come on.
My husband. He come in from the last live and he's like, Ryan wants McDonald's. I kind of feel like some too. Do you want some? And I'm like, I'm not gonna say no to McDonald's. But anyways, yes, Becky did comment on it, and honestly, Adam, I played both yours and Deb's. The song that you chose is just a beautiful song to it. I literally had it looping and playing at least 20 times.
And then sadly the short, you know, we can't play because of the copyright music. But the longer one is royalty free music, which I hate the royalty free music.
Yes. So we can't play it?
We can't play the short one because that's copyright.
Oh, that sucks.
The short, but the longer one is, and the longer one is the one that Becky had commented on actually.
Oh, okay. So wait, you had two?
Yeah, I posted because originally when I was making the video, it ended up being 6 minutes long, and then I was like, oh, a short can only be 60 seconds.
Yes.
So
a short can only be 60
I figured I might as well keep the one that I put the time into making, and then I just made an abbreviated version and put it out as a short.
Oh, okay.
And then I put the other one out as a regular video. And then just put like royalty free music to it.
Yeah. Well, this short is definitely awesome. I didn't realize. I'm so sorry.
That's
I didn't
okay.
realize there was a longer version. Did you want to play that now?
If you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, I apologize for the music. I didn't like it, but you know,
well,
you don't have the best option when the royalty free.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Adam, with it, when you're monetized, you have Creator Studio now where you can actually use music. You got to pay for it, but you can actually use a lot of, but you can't do it in lives. You can use it in a video, but not in lives. Oh, hey, AK. How are you? A lot of people in here probably won't know who AK is, and if you do, AK is from the Suzanne Morphew case, and he still works on that. And same with Matt and stuff. So
I'd love to talk to him behind the scenes sometime.
Yeah, he has a channel. AK has a channel, and but Happy New Year, buddy. I hope your Christmas was wonderful. And yeah, like I said, works on the Suzanne Morphew case. Everyone knows that Suzanne and Delphi. The Suzanne Morphew case was the first true crime anything I worked on, and prayers that one day that they actually find Suzanne and bring Barry to justice.
I was on a stream last week. I believe it was. I believe it was with Chaotic and Cold Truth, and we were talking about cases that we thought could be solved and like what it would take for them to be solved, and we brought up this Suzanne Morphew case, which I know you know a ton more about than I do, Sunny, and. I mean, my assessment of that at this point was that, for something else to happen, her being found is probably going to be the thing that could propel that to the next level.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think something else could do it, definitely let me know. But that's just kind of what I was thinking, is that's what it will take at this point to get that case to the next point.
I hope so, AK. I hope so.
Good.
Like I said, Suzanne was the first case. A lot of dedicated time and devotion. Then I came over to Delphi. And this is when basically Barry was arrested at the time. And so, like I said, so I felt like Delphi needed me. I felt like Suzanne was okay at the time and stuff. There's a lot of good people that work on Suzanne's case over there, and so yeah.
And I know everyone is as, I know that he's not been charged with or he's not currently charged with anything, but it's unfair that she didn't get to be here for Christmas to spend with her daughters and her family, but he did.
Well, AK, did you say that she's been located? Is that what you mean? If Suzanne has been located, it's just so sad.
Mother's Day, yeah.
Suzanne Morphew's case and the Delphi case, very parallel, because Barry and Suzanne lived over in Indiana here. Ellie has to recover her. Wow.
So AK, so are you saying that you believe they know the whereabouts of where she might be?
Ooh. They do now. Can I ask? Like, I'm not sure if you're allowed to say, but if you can, AK, like, was it up in a mountain somewhere, or was it in concrete at a certain house, or?
Right.
I'm just curious if it was, if I mean, prayers. If Suzanne, absolutely is found.
Right.
Thank you.
We could talk about that tomorrow night if there's more information on it that you want to elaborate.
I have to update. I haven't really been watching too much of anything since Christmas, really. But that will be so amazing to hear.
Yeah. And I know we're here to talk about Libby. I did when Sunny messaged me about doing this tonight. I was kind of in the midst of. I just started doing some of the background stuff on the Madeline McCann case, because I followed it throughout all the years, but a lot of the details, you kind of like forget, and so I was really going back through and like writing down details and like times and things like that, because I am working on putting the Madeline McCann video together from when I went there when I was in Portugal.
Absolutely. So, maybe at some point in the near future, maybe AK will want to come on a live with us here. It's up to you, AK. But he says they searched the wrong mine. They searched Garfield mine, but they didn't figure out the exact miles like we did to where she is. So that will be a huge blessing. Absolutely, Randy. So if anyone doesn't know who Suzanne Morphew is, Suzanne Morphew was a mother that disappeared on May 10th, 2020, on Mother's Day. Basically, Barry was over in Broomfield, and the daughters were camping with friends, whatever. And it just didn't sit right with me at all. The minute I seen it, the minute Barry opened his mouth to say, "Oh, Suzanne, shut up, buddy. Like, literally, shut up, dude. You are a liar. You murdered your wife, and you need to pay for your crimes."
I came into that case at an odd point, because the first thing I knew about it was I came across a random video. I didn't even know who she was or that she was missing. But the first thing I ever watched about her was the body cam footage from when the police responded and the boyfriend was there, and then the way that Barry was directing the police and trying to like control the situation. I immediately was like, I knew nothing about the situation, but I was like, this guy cannot be trusted.
Oh, Barry Morphew?
Yeah. Because I didn't know anything about the case, but I watched that body cam footage from the police, and the way he tried to control that situation, I was like, this guy is sketch.
Absolutely. I mean, I just felt it right away with him. Just sorry, dude, I'm not buying your stuff. And not only, like I said, right, it was very parallel. They moved just right after the Delphi murders in 2018. And like I said, a lot of people thought that Barry Morphew was actually the bridge guy. I mean, it made sense. It did make sense. And that's what, besides me taking a break from Suzanne Morphew, that's what actually propelled me back over here, because I wanted to know if Barry Morphew was the bridge guy myself. And, because he did fit the mold kind of, but I couldn't see him doing it so much just because of his own two daughters, and how much, like, especially the one is a big suck tit, daddy's girl.
Well, and wasn't he proven to be GPS? Wasn't his GPS proven to be in the town that he said he was?
His GPS?
Yeah, because he said he was working, right, like an hour away.
Right, like he was.
But we don't know when she really went missing.
Right. I just froze. I just froze for a second.
Because I know there was some stuff about the night before. Really, is potentially probably right when it happened.
Yeah, body cam video in the kitchen drawer. He dropped his second phone. Oh, when getting the bags to hold Suzanne's clothes for
when they went in the dryer,
and
all this stuff was in. That was the first thing I ever watched, was that whole thing when they walked through the house and everything.
She's the one that had that spy pen.
Yeah.
But anyways,
is that the case where the daughters went on vacation with the dad, right?
Well, they didn't go on vacation with the dad. Oh, well, they went on vacation with their dad after the mom was missing.
The mom was missing, right? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, even the relationship with the daughters, it's not like that. I don't know, something going on there. Weird.
Oh, yeah, well, I know. There's something.
This is what that is. He's got the money.
I just thought it was very strange that their mom is missing, supposedly, right? And that the daughters, what I found, was that Suzanne goes missing, and the daughters aren't even having anything on their like tweets, like like their backdrops or anything. It's not like they have this thing up saying, "Help find my mom." Yeah. I don't know. Let me put it this way: me personally, if I had daughters like that, please do not be my daughters, because if I'm missing and then all I'm seeing is little bikini picture outfits on your Instagrams and stuff like that.
That's one thing. Weird.
I don't know. Yeah. That's how I just thought it was very strange. Let's see here. I'll just quickly.
That would make sense, AK. Yeah, no, I would love to hear more of those details. So if you ever want to come on, I would love that.
Yeah.
And we can do it on the It's a Crime and Shame channel, because Sunny has been the Suzanne Morphew.
This is
gorgeous.
This is beautiful Suzanne. That's the POS Barry. And so this beautiful lady goes missing on Mother's Day of 2020. And so if that's where her remains are, in the other mine and whatever, like I said, a blessing, because just like Libby and Abby, and just like all those other people out there, like the Maya Milettis of the world, all those other people that need justice for the crimes against stuff like that. This is just very heartbreaking story. Suzanne just emitted aura of light. You can tell just by looking at her that she just is that ray of sunshine. And I just want to punch him in his face, to be honest.
Yeah, look at the ego. You can tell the ego. Look at the way he sits.
I know, ego, full of himself, ego. So 5'8", okay. She was murdered on 5'9", early, 5'10". She was placed into the mine shafts along with her phone at 4:23 a.m. AK, and I know Gonzo and others, Matt, but like AK's boots on the ground as well. Lot of love for the Suzanne Morphew case, a lot of care. So thank you for caring so much to do as much work as you have done, AK. And thank you for giving us coming in here and giving us an update. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you, we do need to get back on to Abby and Libby here in a second. But if you don't know, just look up Suzanne Morphew. Again, basically,
Right. And Miss Depp, I agree. He seems like the kind of I'm speculating, but he seems like the kind of man that, because he has a fragile male ego, he needs to be the alpha and in control of every situation. And she, doesn't seem like the type of woman that is going to sit by and do that. And I think that she realized that she wasn't happy, and we know that she probably looked out, and she was enjoying her own life, and nothing's going to hurt a fragile male ego more than that. So he couldn't cope with that.
Yeah, I know. Again, a very, very tragic story. Beautiful person, and like I said, I'm never one to believe in ever affairs, but one of the things that I always recognized that Suzanne was in a very, very parallel line that I could associate with the ex, the abuse, why that she probably ended up having her life taken from her in a sense. And it's kind of like right when I first saw it, I kind of like called what I thought was pretty much the reason, whatever, which at the end of the day, it's
Scott
true.
Peterson.
Right. And the thing is that though there was more intricacies, whatever, like the spy pen, you had no clue about whatever. Again, so I understand absolutely why she cheated, but I can't sit there and think that Mr. Barry Morphew's innocent of that himself.
Right.
Either.
And we don't. I don't want to say she, even that, because we don't know the situation.
We do know that she did.
We know. I mean, we don't know. We don't. But we don't know. We don't know what
No, exactly. And I can.
And
the thing is, and when unfortunately for Suzanne, wrong choice there, Suzanne. Absolutely, her spirit deserved a beautiful heart spirit, not
we can see that in her face.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of like one of those things, beautiful lady, beautiful soul. Unfortunately, they have two beautiful daughters, but again, Suzanne's no longer here to be a voice. AK and that and Matt, I know, and Gonzo, and everyone spends like a lot of time on this case, bringing a voice to the voiceless. So thank you so much for joining us and letting us know.
And I like, a lot of people would like to know more, would like to know more updates about it. So I mean, maybe we can plan sometime with Pete, to get kind of the latest on it, and for people that are unfamiliar, give them the overview of it as well.
So prayers, and like I said, hopefully you can join us on a live sometime soon, and that would be awesome. And we can talk about the Suzanne Morphew case. And other than that, you have a happy New Year, AK, and blessings to you and your family. And thank you for stopping by. And
Alexa, we'll have to see if we can find some handwriting from him.
You need some handwriting samples. I mean, really, with him, you just need his voice. All right. And so I'm going to play Adam's, not his short video. You guys can go to the channel for that again. If you're not a subscriber to this, for Adam's channel that's playing this live right now, please do. Thank you. Give it a thumbs up as well to this video. That will be great. Whether you're watching from the It's a Crime and Shame channel or from Adam's live, but where we're streaming from is in Adam's live. So with that said, Adam, do you want me to play Libby's video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, we'll do that.
It's right at 6 minutes long. But there's no it's just footage of her.
Enough time to let me eat my McDonald's as I'm watching it. Perfect. Thank you. All right, so we'll do that, guys. We'll stop the screen. Yeah, and then we'll let's see here. Delphi. I think it's this one, right, Adam? Share. Hold on.
No. Is that?
No, hold on. Videos.
Yeah. It's
this
that one
right here. Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so it was that one.
Oh, it was that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm just gonna make us smaller, and I'll mute myself, and we'll put this in bigger mode. Okay, guys. Okay. Wow. What a beautiful video. I know if you couldn't put the proper songs that you wanted to it, and that as I was a whole selection uh video
Right.
pictures of Libby, and honestly, um I think Alexa and both Adam as well, um like you can tell when somebody has that light in their eyes, that just exudes happiness, free spirit. They just have that sparkle, and you see that almost in every picture that Libby has. So anyways, that was a beautiful video. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was really. I didn't see it before. Really beautiful. Well done.
Oh, thank you. And I mean, I have to admit, I mean, I mean, the family. I mean, there was a plethora. I mean, a lot of the pictures and stuff I had not actually seen before.
Yeah.
But I did, I did go through some of the Facebook and Kelsey's Twitter and things like that, and just there were so many beautiful things that I didn't even put in there that I felt were even more personal, that I just thought, that's not my place to put. But I just so I mean, I do thank the family for putting some of that stuff out there to share with the public, so that I was able to use some of that, because she had such a incredibly bright light that she shined, and Abby as well. But today's Libby's birthday, and so
I absolutely
I wanted to focus on her.
The thing that makes it hard is, especially at Christmas time. Christmas is already a hard time for people, because a lot of people love Christmas, but then there's a lot of people that get very depressed at Christmas time. So when you have to add a death that's right there on a person that you died love that died during the Christmas holidays, and her birthday is like literally a couple days after Christmas, in a way, for me, I know that Halloween was Libby's favorite holiday, but by the same token, I do kind of find it that it's beautiful that her birthday did fall in the holidays. By the same token, anyway, because to me, Christmas is a very colorful, bright, like Libby and her shirts. So
right. I had never seen. There were a couple of pictures in there. I'm sorry, Sunny. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. Go ahead. I was
just going to say, there were a couple of pictures in there that stood out to me that I just, I had not seen. Like, I had not seen the one where she was covered up to her head in the sand, and I thought that one was hilarious. And then I thought there was a beautiful one where she was standing by a creek. And then the one where she was like doing the little mustache, the ink mustache, and just so many that I thought were just really, really touching. And I had not actually seen the tattoo that Kelsey had gotten, where it said,
Oh, okay, yeah.
that one either. So I
can't
thought that
see you. Was that the one? Was that her tattoo? I can't see.
Where she's, and then I had not also seen the post where she showed the passenger seat of her car and she said, "This is the
passenger seat." I know, because all of a sudden I seen that and I was like, "Oh, she's really." Yeah.
I like the one that she's holding the alligator.
Yeah.
Like such a brave little young woman.
And then there was the picture of them at the beach, and it just, I mean, she was, 13, 14 years old, and so she exuded
life.
The most probably amount of like life and innocence and just possibility that you have in your, and she exuded all of those things. So that poor family was robbed of all of that, and the whole world was robbed of what she may have been able to contribute. And I know, like, in the beginning of the video, I do mean that. I was like, as much as we have been fascinated by this case, I wish that I didn't know Libby's name, because that would mean she'd be here. Like, if none of us were here talking about her, it would mean that she was here.
Yeah.
And so,
exactly. And here's a French fry to Libby. You know what? I forgot about that. My husband just happened to say, "Do you want a McDonald's?" And I was just like, "Don't forget my chicken sauce for my fries." Anyways, Libby loved French fries.
Yeah. So my heart goes out to all of her family today, and friends. Yeah. And loved ones.
Yeah.
No matter how many years go by, I'm sure it will not get any easier. But
it's just hard as this, like, a birthday comes, and Libby would have been, not is, it would have been, she would have been 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, well, first of all, that somebody could actually do something like this to these children, is just incomprehensible, first of all. Sadly, there are those people out there in this world that do this. It just, honestly.
Yeah.
What's hard for me is that, again, their life wasn't taken in a normal tragedy, in a sense. It was taken in a very violent tragedy.
Horrific way.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard.
It's hard enough when you know someone that, like, I knew someone in high school that passed away in a car accident, and that's horrible enough.
Yeah.
But there's a whole extra layer of it when it comes to something like this, and then you add at this point almost 6 years later, and hopefully justice will be coming. So
Yeah.
and any of the quotes that I put in there, or any of the those were all posted from post. Those were all quotes and things that the family had posted, and I just found them to be beautiful.
Well, that was nice. Like I said, go check out the short. It has a beautiful song to it that Adam did. And again, I posted Deb's link as well. She did one for Libby. Isn't She Lovely is the song to that one. Unfortunately, I can't play those ones because then the video, just the live, becomes non-monetized. Well, I can say it. I mean, it's kind of...
We'll get copyright straight, yeah.
So, we'll get a copyright.
But it's so funny because you can do it on a short, but not on video.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
I know. I do miss the good old days where you could pretty much use whatever you wanted. But I get that people need to be paid for their work as well. So it's just that, when it comes to copyrights, you can only use it once, but you can't, as for now, you cannot use copyrighted in a video though. Like you can't do it during a live. You can only, in a sense, purchase it to use it for the one time in a video. And then they get a cut of the proceeds. Fair enough, right? They basically say, hey, if you want to use a trendy song, well, we'll give you part of the proceeds and we'll give them part of the proceeds. Yeah. So, I mean, I like the fact that they did that in the sense of, it's another option for people to do in their YouTube videos and stuff like that. But anyway,
if you can financially afford it, that's wonderful. I mean, sadly, I've only made like 2 videos myself, so I'm like, I'm not really at a point where I can afford to buy copyright music, but maybe someday.
Soon.
Yeah.
And honestly, I know you've talked about that before, and I know that even if it's not a family member, but it's someone that you love or someone that's close to you, like my family friend Samantha Josephson, same thing. But I mean, she did get her killer did get convicted, so
yeah,
I can't imagine them not being brought to justice.
That's so, and that's what I know. That makes it so hard. Sorry, Ozzy. That honestly, like it's one of those things that there's nothing you can do. It is what it is, but it doesn't stop the hurt and the pain, especially if the person wasn't convicted, that they know who did it, but couldn't be convicted. And
I find it, and I personally think it's important that, I think a lot of times these cases that, because, I mean, we're all here because we are interested in true crime. I mean, let's be honest. There is an aspect of that that brought us all to this genre, and we care about the missing and the murdered. But, so many times, people are focused on a case, myself included even, and then, after like the kind of intensity of that dies down, or like if it gets solved, you do start to kind of forget about certain things. And I always try to make sure I make a point to never forget about these people. Like that's like a vow that I've made to myself with Karina McKirkin, is that, even though there's someone going to trial for her murder, I don't want her name to be forgotten. And, I'll never want Libby and Abby's names to be forgotten. Even though I didn't know them, I feel like, what happened to those girls and the light that they shine deserves to be spoken on. Same with Ray Hanna. I mean, same with all of these people. They all deserve for their names to not be forgotten. Yeah. Nicole Bowen.
Ray Hanna, yeah. Slew said, who is Shanann Higgins? Who is that?
I don't know.
Who is it? I don't know. So, is it someone in chat or somebody that passed? I don't know.
And now we do have, we have these people in Idaho. There's still this little girl missing in Charlotte that I've not put the effort into that she deserves, especially living here. I need to really put some focus on that case.
Is that the Matilda?
Yeah.
Or Madalena?
Madalena.
Madalena.
But it's just hard sometimes. Also, when you work full time, to like balance all the time. Because people don't realize it does take you don't realize it until you make a video that a 5-minute video can take 5 hours to make, even when it is just a slideshow.
Yeah. I know above Wolf Pup said that I don't think we really see Peace too much in here lately. I keep seeing Wolf Pup. I hope your dad's doing okay there. I meant to I'm really bad at this stuff sometimes. I meant you mean to message people, and I sit there and make my way around certain posts and stuff.
Hey Daisy.
Hey Daisy. I'm not sure where Peace said that. Oh yeah, my daddy is doing a live tomorrow, so I finally got him to crawl. Oh
yeah, I know that.
Yeah. Okay, so this Rainbow Pop does Peace. Does he get the Christmas blues, or or is he just having?
Well, I know that he had mentioned that a little bit even before Christmas. So
yeah,
talk about someone with a huge heart,
and that's why it hits hard. People that really do have these huge, massive hearts for other people. They really do take it hard, and that's why myself too. I take it hard when people try to take away from me what I care about a lot, which is other people. So when people try to take that away from me, it really, it impacts me in the fact that why do people need to do those things? Why? So you really take it as a personal, insult in a sense, because you're just like, so what? Forgive me for having a huge caring heart about other people. But the thing is that we take on those.
The bigger your heart, I think the easier it is for it to get penetrated with.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense to us.
Yeah, and I think everyone that I've seen in the chat here tonight are people that I would say have huge hearts.
Absolutely.
I mean, support with Steffa, Lisa. I will say Lisa has a heart. Ray Jones doesn't like to admit it, but he has a big heart.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw something on Instagram today. It was an ad. It was a coffee mug, and it made me think of Ray because it said "Ray of effing sunshine."
Oh.
I said, "Well, Ray needs that." But yeah, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Aussie, Sleuth. I mean, Sleuth has you talk about a teddy bear. Sleuth has a huge heart.
I seen a quick little video of his.
He's got street cred too, though.
Yeah. I think he was in something Springs. Anyways, there was some snow in this river or this lake, I should say.
Yeah.
I think he said something like, I don't know, December 27th road trip or whatever it was. I can't remember, something like that. It just, popped up and I was like, oh, click. And then it was just a quick short, I believe it was.
Miss Deb, you have a huge heart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Deb has a huge heart.
Yeah, not who she is sometimes, but yeah. Deb, yeah. Mine is small. No, well, I don't know.
I have a cold heart. It just gets melted sometimes.
Pull out the measuring stick there.
You guys have a big heart.
Well, if you've seen any of the pictures I posted of my niece on social media this week, like she melts my heart pretty quickly.
How old is she?
She's 15 months, 16 months.
Oh.
If you look at my Facebook or Instagram, you can't make this kid up.
Oh, I love that age.
Deb, I said you.
Yeah, she does. She's very generous too.
Deb is
always helping out people. Yeah, very.
Yes.
All of you.
Who's Deb?
Who's Deb?
I think that's the beauty about this community is that I think we all attract each other to, the same kind of people. I mean, sometimes you get the wackos and, the crazy ones. But most of the time, we're, all the people in here, I have to say, they're very caring. They have really good hearts.
I've been fortunate enough, I think, to meet people like you, Alexa, and people like, I think I was lucky immediately to have met Deb and to have met Sunny and Sleuth. Were some among the first people I really met in YouTube and really to come into that kind of community. it brought me into, I think, and then Chaotic and Cold Truth. I mean, I think it's really kept me into a good group of people on YouTube, and I'll talk to anyone, but you know, I think it helps when you're surrounded by people that have similar hearts and similar goals. But what was I going to say? And especially, and I, of course, especially when they're strong women, that to me always is, you know, I take the most, I learn a lot from strong women.
I love strong women.
Yeah. And I like when strong women support each other instead of, you know, instead of like bringing them down or being jealous. And all, I don't believe in that.
Right. And I think, that's nothing against the men that are out there, you know, because I know men, but, you know, I've learned a lot in my life from really strong women, and I, you know, appreciate that and admire that.
Well, I'll tell you, like I said in another live before, you know, and like my twin was saying, you know, how she was saying, like, you know, like those people that sit in the corner that nobody wants to talk to for whatever reason are the people that we would go talk to, because it's like, you know, why not? They're just like us. They're regular people too. They might, you know, to some people look a little odd or look a little emo or look a little, I remember like this one girl, like she was, I think she was always made fun of because she was a big girl, you know, and yet she was one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet and stuff like that. So you befriend them. And so for me, it's like I said, if it's not for those strong people out there that do have a voice and, you know, that do protect, like whether it was at work for me or anything, it was about the right thing, you know, and you have to understand people. Okay. My grandma was very vocal. My mom was vocal.
No. I can't imagine you coming from that type of lineage.
My mom, like I said, you just grew up in a society where it was like, wipe away the tears, pull up your panties,
suck it up, buttercup,
and suck it up. You know, you didn't have time to whine. You had chores to do. You had to earn your keep. You know, my mom always said, like, don't ever rely on a male. You know, that meaning, you know, it's okay to be in the relationship. My mom didn't care what type of relationship you were in, but basically never be reliant. And the reason why she taught that is because of obviously her being married to my dad and was reliant on the income that he always gambled away and misused. And so she was reliant on him. So that's why she would always tell us, like, don't rely on a man for anything, you know, rely on him for love and this and that, but don't rely on him for money and stuff like that. Like, make sure that you have your own goals and dreams and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't come from a passive mom whatsoever. My mom was like, she was kind of hard ass. She didn't really hug us, you know, and stuff like that.
I was fortunate, I think, to, you know, be a male that grew up with a strong mother that way, and grandmother and female aunts, and also then a father that was strong enough to celebrate that and not, you know, fight back against it like some men do. You know, like my father worships my mother to this day, and you know, I respect him as a man because he respects women as well.
Yeah.
Whereas I've seen a lot of men not be that way.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's like I said, it takes all type of people to make the world up. You know, you got your strong people, your more passive people, your doers, your list doers, and your actual doers. I've always been a doer, not a list doer. Right. I can do a list, but I'm a doer.
I think that, you know, like, I don't know her personally, but, you know, like, I see that in Becky Patty, and that's one of the things that I immediately drew me into this, because I admired her so much and her strength, and the way, I mean, I speculatively feel like she probably is the thing that carried that family through the last 5 years and has kept them going.
She's a Cancer.
Yeah, she's the glue.
You know, again, you fight for your cubs. You know, I'm the same way. You know what? I'll push anyone to the side and be like, hey, come through me first. You know, when it comes to protection of family and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, so.
I didn't know that, Daisy.
What?
Oh, Daisy said MS dropped today. I haven't listened yet.
What dropped?
Yeah, I've really been behind I'm assuming that means Murder Sheet. I've I'm so far behind on. I've not watched any YouTube stuff. I've not listened to any podcasts. I've really just been doing my own thing, and then like I said, I've spent the last day really starting to do some research again on the Madeline McCann case, just so I can get dates and times and some of those details back fresh in my mind before I put my video out.
You know, I've been watching Hallmark Christmas movies.
Me too. Oh my God, so cheesy.
I know they're so cheesy.
Oh,
I love it.
But I love it.
Love it. I love that. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to say this. That guy, his name is Ryan Prave Prave or whatever. Oh my goodness. Okay. I was watching Christmas at the Plaza, and I'm just like, dude, yes. I can't stop staring at your eyes. I'm an eye person. And his eyes, it's like, again, one of those people, you can keep talking. I'm just looking at your eyes. Actually, ugly chick in the video. She wasn't ugly, but I'll just say she is. I was like, I want to be you right there, right now, looking at those eyes. Sorry, husband has great eyes too.
Who were we talking to the other night that had gorgeous blue eyes?
Oh, my sister.
Yes. I know. I take personal offense. People get their compliments on the blue eyes. I'm like, but yeah, no, she did.
She'll like that one. Who is it that we're talking to? Yeah, my twin is always known for her smile, and her eyes.
Yeah,
I got brown eyes. I got hazel eyes. She has blue eyes, and I was like, "Your eyes blue or green?" I was for it. I don't know why. I should know that they're blue, but anyways, yeah.
One of my sisters has hazel eyes, and the rest of us have blue eyes. And Lisa, I've heard a couple of interesting Idaho rumors today, but I haven't had time to actually dig into them. And I actually got sent some screenshots of some footage got leaked from the inside of from the bar, and of course seen it. All the screenshots I got sent had like circles of people and like, is this person? Is this person? And so I need to really go into that. But
as soon as I saw that, I thought of you. I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like,
"Has anyone seen the video? I want to play it. I want to see it. I want to see."
Well, I worked all day because apparently all sorts of things happened today while I was at work because I had posted my Libby video in a Facebook group, and apparently somebody went on and posted some very disturbing things in the comment section, which luckily the admins of that Facebook group took it down immediately. But this is the same person that's been on Court TV saying they had crime scene photos.
Chris Todd.
So I was like, "Whoa, I don't know this person. Why are they commenting that on? Why are they putting crime scene photos under the comment section of my video to celebrate Libby's birthday?" But I didn't see it, and but I got sent a screenshot before it was taken down. But I am glad that thank you to the moderators that took that down because I wouldn't want that on a video like that. So thank you.
I was going to do an Iowa one today, but I got too lazy.
Oh what?
I was going to do an Iowa. Idaho.
I was like, Idaho.
Well, we've got a stream tomorrow night. We'll have to have stuff for it too as well.
Absolutely, you're right. Absolutely. Someone just said, Aspen, what happened to the mom and stepdad in court today with the little girl missing near your town?
Again. I saw an article and I don't know. I literally worked all day and I came home and I've not looked into anything. So after we're done with this, I will look into that because I forgot that they had that court. I forgot that happened today as well.
I'm curious about this video and stuff.
Yeah.
And I gotta stop watching Hallmark movies. Because I need to catch up on the Idaho. I've been watching a little bit, but not a lot. I've literally just been vegetating and then helping my sister. Other than that, I've been trying to just to relax a little bit, to be honest with you. Just take it a little easy before the new year comes in and just try to enjoy the holidays without it feeling like I'm forced to make a video or anything. I don't like to be forced to do anything. Anyone knows that.
Right. Yeah, and I probably will put out an Idaho thing as well. Tomorrow, but I'm sorry.
Lisa, she goes, the best is when Sunny keeps saying Idaho.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
I know. I was like, and I probably will put out. I probably will put out a little short thing for Idaho tomorrow as well before we do our live tomorrow night. But I heard the biological dad is coming. Oh well, Steffa, maybe you'll have to send me message. Steffa, let's talk in Messenger. Maybe you can fill me in, even though I live 20 minutes away from it, and I drove by the neighborhood on Christmas. Deb says, I keep typing Iowa instead of... I know, because if you say Iowa, people are going to think you mean Evansdale.
That's why she confused me. That's why I was saying Iowa. I'm like, wait a second. Iowa? No, Idaho. And then I was like, is she talking about something else? So, anybody out there with the Idaho case, do they have anyone under the radar? Anyone know? Any secrets?
No.
Any gossip?
No. I mean, just that video, those pictures inside the bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so somebody leaked it apparently. And
yeah.
So how long is the video? Because I've heard it's not long, right?
No.
Like 20 seconds?
Yeah, less. Yeah, something.
But again, people I know, and it looks like they're kind of... I couldn't tell if they were on a patio or if they were inside.
Right, I
the bar
couldn't
has an
either
odd
because the
setup.
bar did look off. I was like, where are they?
To me, it looked like the outside patio that is like covered with a wall and like probably because of the weather in Idaho probably is not enclosed. But I would assume like that's probably where people go to smoke.
People were saying that the guy that she was talking to was Jack. I think. Is it Jack?
Well, in the one screenshot I was sent, it did look like Jackass.
Yes,
it was in the Grub. I can't talk. Grub truck video as well.
Yeah, the Grub truck. Yeah, they said even the shoes match, like the facial. Yeah. But did he have facial hair?
I mean, like a 20-year-old facial hair, kind of like the hat is what matched.
So catch me up there because Jack obviously would have been in the bar because he's the one that was walking with them down the street from the bar.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but they look like they were definitely interacting. And I heard one person say that they think that the Adam guy was there, but then I heard another person say it wasn't. And like I said, I didn't look into this at all today. This is just what was sent to me. But then I've heard there's even a rumor going around now that that people think the chief of police was at the bar hanging out with the Jack S guy because there's a bald guy that kind of looks like him, but I don't think it would be him.
No.
Yeah.
His beard has grown thicker.
So Deb, some people are saying that it's Jack D in the bar, even though he said he was in Boise, and then we know Jack S was in the bar.
Right.
Jack S is from the Grub truck video, but now some people are speculating that the boyfriend, Jack D, was in the bar because he has a hat on in one picture that matches a guy that was in this video. So if anyone has the link, I mean, we could play it really quick.
Somebody has the link.
I think it's only like 20 seconds long.
Yeah. What channel was it on originally?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't even know.
So I mean, because everyone has always said that Jack D's alibi was that he was in Boise, which is 5 hours away almost. But then if he was at the bar that night, and it could have just been someone else. I mean, let's admit it. I mean, they're 20-some-year-old college kids. They all kind of have that same look in a way.
Yeah, I know.
Let me just
especially right now. They all kind of want the facial hair, mustache, and
the hat.
And they all wear the same kind of clothing,
Yeah.
It's Idaho. You're a college student. You're gonna wear a hoodie, jacket.
I don't know if I have because I deleted all my history. Don't even get me started.
And I agree. The photo I saw, and of course I saw somebody did a side by side, and it did. I mean, I definitely saw the resemblance. It gets confusing with the Jacks though because there's the Jack S and then there's the Jack D. And then there's the Jack. There's the other Jack too, and then there's the Jake.
And then there's a neighbor with Jeremy with a J also.
Right, Miss Depp. Jack S is Jack Showalter, who was from the Grub truck video. Jack, I'm gonna butcher his last name. Decanter, is the ex-boyfriend of Kaylee. But then also Madison's dad came out today and said some things that I think have alluded to, like, maybe a little bit of it. Now there's some speculation on, the messaging he's saying versus the messaging that Steve Gonsalves is saying. Decor, thank you, Deb. But and again, we are here to talk about Libby, but if we want to play the video really quick, that's cool.
Well, I don't see it. Which one?
Oh, let me see. I don't know if it's in this one.
If you look in your library, okay, let me take a look.
No, I told you I deleted my whole.
I know it was on Ikamel's on channel today, but I think that might have been part of like a whole stream.
Yeah, I think mine.
Give me a second. I'll go look. Yeah.
I think the one I sent you is the same thing.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a minute and I'll try to see if I can find it.
Yeah, and Miss Jackie, from the house that he lived in, there is a straight view into at the house. But I mean, there's also a straight view from the Sigma Chi house, because it's up on a hill from campus. So, I mean, that house has a clear view from a lot of vantage points. And then those kids are all away on winter break now. So I mean, if they're looking at a student aspect, a lot of those kids are not even in town right now. So I'm sure that it's probably hard to get them back into re-question them or anything like that. But thank you, Miss Depp. And Miss Depp, I will check the messenger after we're done tonight, so I can hear a bit more about this dating update.
Yeah. Well, I'll just quickly show you a little bit from the circus. What is it? It is the one that Alexa sent me. The circus, whatever is. Sorry, gotta find the name again. All right, close off this. Too many tabs open, people. All right, as always. Okay, so yes, Crime Circus. So we'll just play a little bit from his clip for Crime Circus, and you guys can. And
then I will add that person's link to the description, right?
Yeah.
After the video.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop it.
Just to give them cred.
Yeah. Just to give cred. So let's just hit share screen.
And hopefully by tomorrow my computer will be set up and I can do this by myself.
Full screen. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna love it, Adam, once you have your computer set up. So I'm just gonna play a portion of this, so we'll be right back.
And Maddie at the Corner Club bar at 1:32 a.m. Also standing just behind Kaylee and Maddie appears to be the hoodie guy. Is that Jack Showalter? Are we seeing Jack Showalter, Jack Decor, Kaylee, and Maddie all at the Corner Club bar at 1:32 a.m.? Let's take a look all the way to the right side of this photo. Is that Adam Latta? Adam Latta, the bartender? The Adam that was told everything? Let's look in between what might be Jack Showalter and what might be Adam Latta. Is that a police officer standing there? Some people on the internet have told me that it is. I was recently provided these images to do a side-by-side comparison. Well, what do you think? Is that a match? I have no opinion one way or the other, and even if it is, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. I know a lot of you out there have a much higher IQ than me, and that you'd love to leave a comment down in the comments section and let me know. Who are these people seen in the surveillance photo that we're all looking at? It sure would be nice to know. Not that it means anything one way or the other who any of these people are, but it might. Anyways, let's do a super zoom into that man that Maddie and Kaylee are talking to. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison of what is a known picture of Jack Decor and the guy in the surveillance footage. Looks like a very similar hat, looks like very similar facial hair. Looks like something Jack Decor might even wear. Now let's do a super zoom down to the feet. Let's look at that big white shoe. And we're going to compare that big white shoe to a known picture of Jack Decor wearing a big white shoe. What do you think? Is that a match? I can't say for a fact that it is, but it looks pretty similar. Now let's do a side-by-side comparison of Adam Latta and the man seen all the way to the right in this new picture that's just been released. What do you think? Is that a match or not? Now let's look at the famous hoodie guy that's standing in the middle of this picture. Let's do a side-by-side comparison of him, the guy from the food truck, and we're also going to slip in a known picture of Jack Showalter to see if any of these are a match. Well, I think it's safe to say the man in the center of this photograph is definitely the same guy as seen on the food truck video. But does that mean that it's Jack Showalter? You, the viewer, decide. Some people even say that everybody has a doppelganger out there somewhere. And what that means? There's somebody that looks just like you and dresses just like you somewhere in the world. Maybe even in the town that you live in. Once upon a time, I was out and about at a McDonald's, and I saw someone that looked very similar to me. Same facial hair, and they were even dressed like me. The girl I was with was super confused and shocked. I think she even thought it was me. But he was a little skinnier than me. Anyways, have you ever seen anyone else out there that looks...
And you guys can go check out that video from Crime Circus. Good job on, like, I'm going to go take a look at that tonight, actually. I'm going to go back and I want to compare.
Yeah, and I'll send you the screenshots because those are pretty much the shots that I had.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And a double. Yeah. A lot of people have said to me, like, that I look like somebody. I'm sure that you guys have probably all had it yourselves, where I literally, honestly, myself, there was a girlfriend of mine out here named Lisa, and when I went to move to Whitecourt, there was this lady that was in Walmart, and from the permed hair to the face, you would have thought it was the same person. It was crazy. I literally couldn't stop staring at her because she was just an iconic image of Lisa that lived out here, but yet I knew it wasn't her. And Alexa, have you had someone say that you look like that? You look exactly like someone they've seen before as well.
I have, I do have
Charlize
a friend
Theron.
that she says that I look like a friend of hers. I have never met her, but she swears that I look exactly like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about. I don't think I don't think that's the Adam guy. I mean, I haven't looked into it enough to say 100%, but people that I trust have said they've looked into it and they don't think it's Adam, and I don't think it's the cop. I think Jules is right. I think that's the bar owner.
Yeah.
That everyone's saying might be the cop just because he's a bald guy.
Okay. That he's Adam.
Chris McDonough would be the one, because I know Chris McDonough spoke to that bar owner. And then the bartender, is the one that was in the corner with the dark hair but I don't think that's actually.
Are you trying to say that there's both Adams there?
No, there's only one Adam. Adam's the bartender in that footage, on the surveillance footage, when they're walking and they're talking about Adam. Yeah. That came out like a week or so ago.
Yeah.
People are saying that's the bartender Adam sitting in the corner with the dark hair.
Okay.
And I don't think that's who that is. And then people are saying that the bald guy that was in between was the chief or the cop. But right. I think the bald guy was the bar owner. I don't know who the guy. I don't know who the guy with the dark hair was, but a lot of people are saying they don't think that's actually Adam.
Yeah, it's not going to be hard to figure out, really, like too much.
Right. But the Jacks, I mean, I can see why people. I mean, the shoes, the hair, the hat. I can see where people are speculating.
Yeah, I'm gonna have. I'm gonna do play around with that stuff tonight and just check it out myself. Pull the images in and just see if I can make it out better.
Because if the boyfriend's alibi is that he was in Boise, how was he at that bar at 1:32 a.m.?
Right, and that's the Jack Decor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was on stage with the family, and the one that they've stood behind. And I'm not saying he's guilty, that he is guilty of anything, but it looked like him.
I know. Well.
I'm sorry. I know my camera wasn't on.
He looks like the BG. The same thing. It's so easy to. I shouldn't say it's so easy, but it is when you're looking at something and then people go, yep, that's him type of thing. Because again, there are a lot of people that look so similar, and that it's easy to mix them up because they look so darn similar. Especially when you have blur, right? When when there's that added blur to it. You can't make out their image quite perfectly.
2022 and these surveillance cameras were still like, I mean, they've gotten better. Remember, like, you know, back in the day when you see, like, you know, like a convenience store, like, surveillance camera, and like, and it would just be nothing but, like, you know, pixelation.
Yeah. I thought it was Jack too.
So, Sweet Jules, yeah. So Jack S, he's the one from the Grub truck video. His alibi was that he left the Grub truck and drove 5 hours to Boise to his parents' cabin, allegedly. Whereas, oh, that's right. So yeah, so Jack D was supposed to be sleeping at that time.
So Jack D was supposed to have been where? That night.
So maybe no. So Jack D was supposed. So I'm mistaken. It is plausible that Jack D was in Moscow, but his alibi that he was sleeping at 2 a.m.
Right, because she tried messaging him like 8 or 10 times.
2:30. I think it started at 2:26,
right.
And at 2:52, the two of the girls started calling him.
I think he was sleeping.
That's the ex-boyfriend, right?
Yes. So yeah, he was not supposed to be in Boise. Jack S is the one that went to Boise.
Alexa. No, Alexa, sorry. As support with Steph. She says, I'm getting sleepy. Listening and will fall asleep to your beautiful voices. Yeah.
Steph, did you take your Ambien?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm having too much sugar today or something. Kind of feel a little bit lightheaded.
Well, you're drinking that your Coca-Cola and
yeah. Well, I finished that about a half an hour ago. I'm having diet coffee from McDonald's.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you, Sweet Jules. Yes, I was mistaken. Jack D was apparently asleep in his apartment or house when the girls were calling. He was in Moscow, so it's not implausible that he was at the club that night. We just had never been told that he was there earlier in the night. We were just been told that he was sleeping when they called. So he could have been there at 1:30, whatever time the video was at, and then gone home and fell asleep.
Yeah. I just, you know what? I mean, again, prayers to the families of this another tragedy. It's heartbreaking, and I really do truly hope that this case is solved rather quickly. I still feel like it will be.
Yeah, and I got sent a whole thing today about the fraternity conspiracies that are going around, and that is a whole rabbit hole.
That sounds like a big rabbit hole that probably won't even play into it, to be honest with you.
I love how people are complaining that, you know, that this case is not being solved. And I'm like, it just happened.
It's not even old.
Hold your horse. Like, it takes a while. I mean, I'm pretty sure not even forensics. Yeah. They're done with sorting everything out, especially how many people are in that house, in and out. So I'm like,
oh yeah. And people are still speculating that the roommates that were survived had something to do with it, and I'm like,
oh God, no.
You know, we've been given no proof of that. Those poor girls probably suffered something so traumatic that they're going to spend the rest of their life, you know, dealing with.
Yeah, those girls had nothing to do with that. It's
Alexa, using your experience here, do you think that this was somebody that they knew, and that this person was like?
I think this is somebody that I always told you. I feel that it's targeted. I think it's targeted to at least one person, maybe two, but I think one person. I think either I don't know if they knew them personally, like they had a friend, but at least they had crossed paths. I think they have crossed paths with each other. And I think this person is, he had to be very familiar. I mean, inside the house. I mean, I think this person was closer than people think that he was.
He knew where people were. He knew which bedrooms people were in that house.
I feel so.
I feel like that's safe to say.
Somebody that I always have the feeling that this, to me, the way it's described, because I don't know the scene, so I'm just speculating about what I know. I believe this is revenge, like revenge killing. Like when it's with a knife, when it's done in that manner, I think it's a revenge. Like I think the killer had, maybe he was turned down by one of the girls, or maybe in his head he made this story that he was in love with one of them, and maybe
they didn't even notice him.
Or maybe, yeah.
And he took that as rejection.
As rejection.
But from your experience, like I always find it interesting that how, and I don't want to go into detail again because but how do you commit that kind of a brutal crime and then leave, and you leave no physical evidence outside? I would think there'd be a trail of something as from to lead to whatever path they left.
What happens to those cases that they play it in their minds so much until they kind of perfect it that when they get there, it's almost like it's almost flawless. But I'm sure he left something, and you will see they always make some kind of stupid mistake, right. Even though in their heads, they play it. It becomes. And it becomes so livid to them that they play it right. over and over how they're going to commit it, that when they actually do it, it's almost like rhythm perfection, like that almost flawless, but they always leave something. And I'm
still curious as to because something that I've not heard anyone else talk about other than I presented that I found the picture of the police spraying what looked like luminol at the apartment complex next door. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, so for what purpose did the police have to go investigate that? And they were using a blue light and they were spraying something. I can't imagine what else that would be if they were not spraying luminol on the side of that apartment complex next door.
Who lived in that place?
Tons of people.
Oh yeah,
but
fraternity.
But I'm sure they probably maybe either they follow the trail, and they found something that they saw some splatter blood.
But the news has not reported any of that, and I showed the pictures.
Yeah,
I didn't see those, Adam. Where are they?
I did a short about them. Yeah, I did a short about them a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Because I got sent a picture of the police spraying the luminol in the light, and it's two officers. And it was zoomed in close enough that you couldn't tell where it was. And so I speculated that it was the apartment complex next door. And I reached out to CD, and we got in touch with someone that lives in that building. And they went and they found the exact spot, and they sent me the picture of the exact spot those police were spraying that at. And I did this, and I showed the police spraying the luminol or whatever it was in the blue light, and then the same spot at the apartment complex. So they were checking for evidence at that apartment complex next door.
Yeah.
So clearly they were looking. They may have found nothing. It may have meant nothing, but they were looking. They feel like they must have found something there because they were looking close enough to have checked for the luminol.
Yeah, they have to look. That's supposedly they have to look everywhere.
Right.
It's the apartment close by and like through the back.
Like if you are on the house, there's that little like driveway that goes up to that parking lot behind the house. Mm-hmm. That apartment complex next door.
Okay.
With the yellow and the brick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so even if I'm not saying someone lived there, I'm saying they could have gone. Like maybe there is something with the way they left.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, how does the Elantra play in?
I'll have to.
So many elements.
Yeah. Steve said that Steve said that they're checking for bodily fluid. Checking. Like I said, I was unaware of what you're talking about, to be honest, Adam. So I'll have to, or you'll have to share with me the photos. I'll watch your short.
I will. Yeah.
Let me play that short.
It's got music to it.
Pardon?
It's got music to it.
Oh, but I can just. No, I can't.
Mute it. If you want to mute, if you can mute it. Yeah. If you can mute it, you can play it.
Okay, so it's in your shorts. Okay. Oh, that one there. Oh, okay. I remember. Okay. That's when you're speaking of. Okay, let me do that quickly. I'll just hit play.
And then, yeah, like I said, these pictures were sent to me from a local.
Okay, just 1 second as I hit.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
my bad. I do
definitely.
remember that.
Yeah, because I gotten the original picture of the police spraying that because that was in the first week, and I was reaching out just trying to figure out where that picture was taken from, and then luckily, it was nice enough from someone that lives in that building to be like, no, that's my building, and they they went and found the exact spot it was and took that other picture so I could use it for comparison.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna spend my night looking at.
Yeah, you can. I mean, even the light. I mean, they're using that UV light, so that's definitely luminal.
Well, it has. I mean, Alexa, do you just believe it's one person, or do you think perhaps some pissed off female got her boyfriend?
I don't think. No, I don't. This is not a female.
Like that.
No, this is a male.
No,
I would say it's a male.
Do you think that if a female got the male guy, that someone that had an issue with, say, Kaylee, maybe Madison, maybe whatever. Do you think?
I don't think it's a female. Can you hear me?
Not that a female did the actual killing.
Sleuth. CD got the image from me.
Did he?
Yeah, CD. Sleuth said CD sent me the image first. I was like, well, I sent CD the image.
Who's on second? I'm on second, obviously, because I.
Right.
Yeah, Deb is right. Yeah, it has to be a strong person. I believe it has to be a male. I truly believe it's a male because of the strength that it would take to.
Yeah. Well, no, I just mean a woman, female behind it as well.
No, I don't think.
Not
I think
that
it's
she was.
male. Nah,
Yeah.
I think this is old male.
You think this is all male?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It has. This is. Yeah. This is.
It's a man.
Yeah, it's a man. I think this is something to do. This screams revenge, like kind of like revenge killing, like for some reason. And it almost feels like, yeah, I have a feeling it's turning down for some kind of thing. Either, he thought that he could date her, or she's, she was mean to him or something. But something aggravated this man.
Yeah, and again, adrenaline can, of course, when you're in, I can only imagine that kind of a fantasy would build up so much that when you finally get into the act of it, I can see that taking over, and you can always, you've heard of people getting like almost like superhuman strength in those situations, but because not to get graphic, but I mean the physicality of doing that to 4 people, it would be high. I mean, it would be exhausting. I mean, so JD was a tennis player. You're right, Deb, and Jack S was an accomplished hunter.
And I also, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I also believe that this person, whoever did this, it stands out. This is not like the other one. You remember when I said about Delphi that I said that he was probably married, had a kid, had a job. Yeah. This person is going to stand out. I have a feeling that this person is not going to be like that. He's going to be the odd looking, either, the loner. He's going to be the loner type, the one that maybe doesn't have any friends, reclusive.
Yeah.
He has problems fitting in, and that's a big one. Fitting in.
I personally, I mean, I know that I was really strong on the Jack S train, and I still think he's very suspicious. But I can't get it out of my head that my gut with the Idaho case is telling me that this is someone that is unknown to us as the public, but not unknown to the girls.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I mean, I really feel like, it's so easy to look at the boyfriend. It's so easy. Of course, there's going to be red flags there, and him being at the club that night could mean nothing, because he could have gone home and went to bed.
Well, I was going to say, like, I personally do not have anyone in particular. I've had thoughts of, like, maybe this person was outside, versus inside, or it's somebody, like Adam just said, something that's unbeknownst to the public, but yet knew of the girls, even if the girl or girls, whatever, didn't know of this person. So I'm wondering in chat and yourselves, like, is there a strong person that you feel is that person, the POI, that, like, do a lot of people feel like it? Jack,
I don't think it's anybody that we know or they have.
I know CD and I both have agreed on this. The same, we both had this thought, is that, like we both mentioned to each other that, to me, I feel like I think this could have been something that the wheels went into motion, relatively early, like relatively recent before the murders. But I think that Halloween party that they hosted at that house, I would not be surprised if whoever was the killer either was aware of that party or at that party.
Yeah.
Because after Halloween, they went. I know Kaylee herself left for a week and a half, and she came back. And literally the day after she came back is when this took place. So, if she was the target, I feel like that could have been a strong catalyst for this going into motion.
I will say this. I do feel like that Kaylee was the target. Whether I'm right or wrong is a whole different ball of wax. But for me personally, why is my face froze? Okay, there we go. Come back to me. Thank you. Do you guys feel like that Kaylee was the target?
I always said, even before they said that, I think Adam was the one who told me that the dad had said something to confirm that, that they believe that she had more wounds than the other three. I always believe it's either her. I always believe it was her.
Yeah. I believe it was her. I believe it was one of personally believe it was one of those two girls.
Yeah, Maddie.
So says he doesn't believe it's a targeted attack, in his opinion.
You think it was an SK? You think it was more of a stalking type serial killer type situation? Because like I said, I think if it was not someone that's unknown to us as the public, but that might have been focused on them. My other strong thing is that it was that it was a serial killer situation, that the crime is what he craved and the targets became the ones he chose. But
I mean, we don't have everything. I mean,
we look at Ted Bundy. It wasn't anything necessarily about those specific people, other than he picked them. But it wasn't even necessarily anything about them specifically. It's just that they're the ones he picked.
But then he would have went to the first floor. I mean, if it's one of those killers, then he would. Why not everybody? If there's 6 people in the house.
I mean, and that's true.
And I always believe the other two. I think Sana and Ethan.
Or did something happen?
Collateral damage. I think.
Because
the word. But
if Ethan was found in the doorway blocking the door, which is how they wouldn't be able, which is why they weren't able to even, which is why they thought someone was unconscious and unable to get into that bedroom. Could something have happened that caused him to then no longer one? I mean, could he just been exhausted? I mean, could maybe he didn't have the physicality in him to go do that, or could have something he was afraid that it was too risky to then go downstairs if there had been too much noise and he was afraid they were alerted. That's all speculative.
At the beginning, when I didn't know that they were in the same bed, I said, yeah, this is definitely, one of those mass, killings that he shows up and he kills, three, four people more, and that's it. But the minute I found out that the two girls were in the same bed, there was basically two and two. Then I was like, no. Then it has to be something like this.
Right.
I just feel like it was a guy that knew that this was a house full of women in there. And I feel like myself that the like upstairs, one of those two girls or Kaylee, whichever, was the target. And that Zaina and Ethan were because they became aware, whatever it was, of the noise, that they had to be taken out. But I don't know if that was intended in the first place. But it had to happen because of the way, how things never go as planned usually, and then the other two, like I said, I feel like that they're alive because Ethan and Ethan probably maybe came across the person,
and he's scared of
or and honestly, I mean, if you really want to go into the psychology of it, the fact that Ethan was there, it could have disrupted his fantasy.
Good. Yeah.
And it could have, at that point, it could have ruined it for him, and it could have, then ruined like what he may have in his mind had it. I mean, it's all speculative, but he might have wanted to go in and kill 5 girls, but then the fact that there was a male there took away what may have been a sexual fantasy towards committing this crime, and then you have a male there that could completely ruin that fantasy in his mind. And then once that happened, he left.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you want to go into that type of type of rabbit hole as far as the motive of the killer, because we don't know
that white Elantra.
Exactly. Or is it a red herring?
Could be. I mean,
but I don't think so. I mean, I don't think that the police are going to put that much emphasis on it and have the border control.
I mean, it could be that it's related, or is it just happens to be around that area, like those kids that were the police across the street with the cops. I mean, it could be one of those. But
it just seems like that this white Elantra that at some point, whether it was a friend or relative or whatever, there's somebody that's going to be watching the news. There's somebody there, and that they would have just come forward and said, "Hey, I was in that Elantra, and I'm not part of it."
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. To me, this person is. I mean, we will see, and I mean, we don't have all the details, but to me, it seems that this person, whoever did this, is going to be one of those people that stand out. That they're odd.
Yeah,
you always have that.
Carol, they were in. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Alexa. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They were in Maddie's bedroom, because Kaylee was actually in the process of moving out. There was some rumors that her bed wasn't even there anymore, but her bedroom was still intact. But they were sleeping in Maddie's room. But just because they were in her room doesn't mean that Maddie would have been the target. Because, I mean,
correct. They would have went to Katie's.
There's several ways you can look at it. You could look at it as far as like, if someone was watching from behind the house, they would have had a clear vantage point into all of the rooms in the back of that house. They could have seen that Maddie's light was on and that both girls were in there. Or they could have gone to Kaylee's room, saw no one was in there, and then went to Maddie's room. And there has been a rumor that that you can see it, that the light turned on and then turned off, because the girls did look similar, especially in the dark. So I mean, if you're walking into a dark room, and you want to see who is who, but I mean, at the end of the day, they all got murdered. They all got murdered brutally. Whether one of them got murdered more brutally than the other, that's horrible. But they all lost their lives.
Slew said, "Think about all the action around the area. The Elantra is just something they need to track down. Just like Ladd and Juten, after a month or so, we won't hear much." I'm not sure who Ladd and Juten is myself. It obviously is a case that I'm not aware of. So
Julian.
I'm not sure which case. So Sue says motive.
And that's what will answer this. I think that's what would answer all of the questions in this, is if we knew the motive.
You know, no
I
different than
think
Abby and Libby.
revenge. I would still say he had something, you know, like a payback, like something like.
My gut says revenge as well, like some sort of, whether it was, well, I mean, again, I don't know if it was actually, honestly, I have no which end is up on this one, because it could be somebody that was just knew the house was full of girls, planned out that that night he was going to go into that house because there was a bunch of girls in there, someone getting their sick fix, or because that wouldn't really mean revenge. Obviously, revenge would be somebody that knew of the girls or a girl and wanted to plan, or went in there specifically for one person because whatever, rejection, jealousy, who knows.
The incel type thing, just
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one at all.
The Sandra Latta and Travis. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they were the couple in Oregon that Travis lost his life and Sandra survived, but she's been 7 times. Salute them. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that person has never been brought to justice either. And she lost her husband. And like I said, she survived being stabbed 19 times.
Wow.
Yikes.
Wow. Just for someone to have that, the thought.
Yeah. And Carol again, yeah. I don't see anything about this case. I mean, I feel like when there's a revenge thing when it comes to drugs, I feel like there's a very specific. I don't think you go to this type. I don't think that typically drug revenge killings are not done in this manner.
No, that would be gun.
Can't be, but
Goodness.
I think if it was drug, it would be gun. They would use a gun.
And they would kill all of them. If it was cartel, they would have killed all of them in the house, and the dog probably, and they wouldn't have. I don't know. I don't see that. I feel like that. Those are just kind of like in Delphi, where it's related. There are people in the case that are related to drugs, but I don't feel like it was motive. And sleuth, that is super interesting. I agree, but is it one of those things where just like Evansdale and Delphi, where you've got two?
I think they choose those dates specifically.
Well, so do you think that's because what Lou's talking about in the cases, he's saying they all did happen 14 months apart on the 13th.
Yeah, I think some of them are like copycats.
I think so too. Actually,
they study. They in their mind that they want to do something, and then they're like, okay, what day is the one that I want to go down in history? And a lot of them are like that. It's not. A lot of people say it's coincidence. No, it's not. I think they choose that specific date for that reason. In their minds, they're like, I want to be known, and this is what I'm going to do.
So I mean, by saying that, are you saying that you think that the killer could be the same person that took place in the Washington case and the Oregon case?
No, I'm not saying. Okay. No, I don't think so. I'm not saying that, but I do believe that some of them do pick the date, except the one that I don't think, and I think it just happened like that, is Delphi. I don't think they chose that date, specifically the 13th. I think that date was just happened, that it was that Monday. I don't think so.
This is still what's a little eerie to me is, 1 second, is that on Intellius right here. Let's see, take this down for a sec. On Intellius, the owner of the 112 King Road, right, also owns 1118. And November 13th is the 2018. Like, coincidences. Like, November 13th. Like, come on. These 4 people were killed. These 4 young adults were killed on November 13th. And purchased the current owner November 13th of 2018. It's just stuff like that sometimes that just throws you for a loop, you know?
Hold on a
That you
second.
just
Can you say that? Because I'm not following. What are you looking at? The address, the
okay.
1122?
So yeah, like so. Although I'm just showing the fact that the owner history of 1122 King Road in Moscow, the owner of that property, also owns 1118 King Road as well, LLC.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happens that that property was purchased on November 13th, 2018. So meaning the owner of 1122 owns another property, and that date just happens to be November 13th. And it's just things like that that make you just go, wow, there we go. Sorry. But it's just things like that you see, and you're just like, really?
Could have been somebody that maybe did what you did and looked at it and say, I like that date, or there's something with that date. Their minds are nothing like ours, and I always said that they think so much differently than we do, and sometimes they choose those.
I think that the 13th is picked and coincidences. So I think that people do pick the 13th because we all know it to be that it's an evil day. It is known as an evil day. No one usually, sorry, Adam, even though I know you were born on the 13th, but
it's my favorite number.
And it's definitely not mine. But it's like, the 13th is definitely deemed as demonic, evil, whatever. It always has been. That's why when you went into hotels, you don't see,
the
typically
13th floor, which is so dumb.
But then by the same token, I also think that there's those things that just more turn out to be coincidences. But it is pretty crazy how many of these things are showing. Like, for instance, like for Abby and Libby, the thing was is that was a school day. Yes, we know it was Valentine's Day the day after, but it happens to be a snow day. So
yeah, but it was built into the calendar, so everyone knew it was going to be off.
Right. Exactly. So was the intent about, like, for instance, with Richard Allen, who knows? Was there some sort of traumatic Valentine's Day thing that he had with something,
Or was he just off on Mondays?
Was he just?
I think that's what it was with him. I think that's what it was.
I mean, that's what we always said about Sonny Klein, right? We always said, he was off Mondays.
I see. You'd never catch me being married on the 13th ever.
Right. Oh, come on. You see, and I look out first because my birthday is 7/13, so you got lucky number and unlucky number.
No.
So pretty fitting for me, but
I think it's how you view it. I don't
right.
Yeah.
My friends used to have a boat that pretty big boat, and the name of it was Lucky 13. It never sank.
Just quickly, Carol says, true or rumor that SA offender lived next door.
There was one that lived in close proximity, but I mean that I guarantee you, Carol, if you looked at most neighborhoods, and there's an SA, there's one of those living in near I'm sure almost every one of us right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a red dot over a lot of our neighborhoods.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to get off soon here.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I know we ended up talking about Idaho quite a bit. But
I know I felt like an Idaho one.
But
I did want because today is Libby's birthday, and so.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just set for Libby's birthday. It was to talk about Libby's birthday of Idaho, and we talked about Delphi and stuff like that as well. It was just an impromptu live, and so we commemorated Libby at the start. We'll commemorate her at the end in honor of Libby for her birthday. It's over now.
She would have been 20 today, right? 20.
She would have been 20, yeah. And I think we all of course have Libby in our heart and their family in our heart all the time. But of course. Say an extra prayer or thought for them, in the next few weeks, months, whatever, because they've got a whole new hurdle in front of them with what they've got coming up. So, did you see that Keegan Klein's court date is May 10th? It's been set for May 10th now.
Really?
Yes. And then I don't want to talk. I mean, don't know if you got the message I sent you and the thing about apparently Abby's mother's asking that people not talk about Abby anymore again, and they don't want. So
that's probably not going to happen. To be honest,
I
mean, it's one of those things. People have been talking about it for 5.5 years,
and they're gonna talk for many years to talk. Yeah.
And I don't think it's the first time she's asked. I think she went. I think this happened a couple of years ago. Again, I think someone told me that that happened a couple of years ago as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would want to be respectful, but how do you not?
Well, let me put it this way. This case has been going on for 5.5 years. A lot of people have put their heart and soul into these girls, and regardless, it's going to be talked about. Abby and Libby will be talked about regardless.
I will. Always in a respectful manner.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you keep it respectful, then I don't see no issue with it. So again, you can't just turn it off and turn it on like that. Especially for all the people that have been dealing with this case for way longer than I have myself. So,
I'll try to be, but I myself will try to be respectful and limit what aspects of that I discuss.
So what exactly was it that they didn't want? What was exactly the thing that was put?
I'm not quite sure what prompted it or what what was it?
What no pictures or no talking or no?
Yeah. She doesn't want her mentioned, and she doesn't want pictures of her posted. She doesn't want her discussed in Facebook groups. And I'm not sure what prompted it, but
wow. Let me put a second. I will never be mad at anyone for posting it because, again, this case has been talked about. Abby and Libby are part of everyone's hearts and stuff like that. So being respectful, of course, absolutely, but it's not going to stop people. Like I said, it's one thing to do things that are in a ignorant manner towards the girls, and then there's a one thing to me to do it into a loving, caring manner about the girls. So it's, what, like I said, you can't turn a tap off and on like that. Just when it comes to the Delphi case, it's just not going to, realistically, it's not going to happen.
But yeah, exactly. But I mean, but we can vow that we of course will always we always have be be respectful and be and would never say anything negatively or derogatory towards.
Well, as for the Facebook groups, like I said, for the most part, I'm not a big fan of most Facebook groups. There are some good ones out there, but I typically avoid looking at them too much or anything like that because.
And there were some there were some that were going pretty dark into some of that stuff. So, and again, like Daisy said,
no, I don't agree on that, Sleuth. Yes, we can. But is that going to happen? Like, in all honesty, is that going to happen? Probably not.
Well, we're probably not going to have much to talk about with them for the next month. Yeah. The gag work, with so much new information coming out, is it?
When it picks up, when the case starts picking up again, really, then it's going to be, back to chaos, to be honest with you.
Right.
As soon as those court dates and stuff keep happening and whatever.
The 13th is the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we get off tonight, I did want to say, so, I know what I was doing at 20 years old, so I mean, Sunny, what were you doing at 20 years old?
20 years old, I was working at Eaton's in the cosmetics, and I lived in Calgary, Alberta, and I don't know, just played sports and worked, and I was with Dion at that point in my life.
Right. Yeah. Were you your son had not been born yet, right?
No, my son wasn't born until I was 27. Yeah, that's somebody else. Yeah.
So, how about you, Alexa?
20. That was the year we took. My husband broke up with me for a couple months, and I was in Scandinavia. Spent a couple months in Scandinavia when I was 20, and I was finishing school, I believe. Yeah, 20. Yeah, I was about to finish school. So that's, wow. Yeah, we were
You're
able
talking
to.
about university or something, though, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
university. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for me, 20 was, I dropped out of college, and I was going to warehouse parties a lot, and dating DJs, and going to a lot of warehouse overnight raves, and that's when I started doing hair, and I can't think of a more carefree, like, my whole life was ahead of me at that point at that age, and so I kept thinking about that today with Libby. So
Yeah, I know.
I hate that she's been robbed of, like, everything that was to come.
Absolutely.
So sad.
Yeah, it's hard because you just look at her face. My favorite personal one that makes me smile, though, is when she's behind Kelsey in that video, and she comes sliding in, and she makes that little face. And
yeah, that's why I played that at the end, just because
yeah, that one always captures my heart for sure. Yeah.
It is what it is, though. So, but I pray for, again, like Sue just said, Anna, Carrie, and Becky have been dealt. They've been dealt a hand that no mother or grandmother deserves to ever be handed, and I will pray and try to hope they have the most strength. I mean, I think they're all incredible women, but how amazing. And then I look at Kelsey, and I think, I think we're kind of good an idea of what exactly what Libby, we would kind of look what
Good night, Sleuth.
Libby looked like now, because they look so similar. So good night, Sleuth. Thank you for coming.
Oh, so wait, I don't see a good night, Sunny. I see a later Aspen. Rude, Sleuth on there. Peace, Dab. Yeah, like what the heck? Right, what am I, a piece of shit? Dude, where's mine? It's like, bye, Dab, bye, Aspen. And Kelsey, that sweet little half smile at Libby. I love that. Oh, I dropped your channel again. Oh, I dropped it twice. Don't forget. So, hey, guess what? You actually lost a subscriber. No, people. It's the opposite way around. You're supposed to gain subscribers, okay? Yeah. Kelsey is, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Epitome of a amazing sister.
Strong woman.
Took on the role of an adult in a lot of ways. I have watched Kelsey grow as a person and become who she is today. Absolutely, Libby would be just so proud of her sister and what she's accomplished.
What I love about her is that she could have gone bitter, be bitter in life, and the way she always talks, you don't hear bitterness in her, and I really like that. And I think it has a lot to do with her faith, as she always puts it, that she believes in God, and she found God and she started praying and all that. And you can actually see, because I don't ever hear her even express herself towards a killer or to anything in a bad manner. And I think that's actually good, because it actually radiates peace in her.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard thing to go through. It destroys your family dynamic. It's not
absolutely
an easy.
Well, look at the Evansdale murders. Yeah, I mean that totally, and you can see the sadness. Yeah, of Elizabeth, was it? I'm trying to think now. Adam, was it Elizabeth or Lyric, the father that had gotten a divorce?
The one that was on Steve.
Yeah. That was Elizabeth's dad. Yes, Elizabeth. But anyways, so that because of what happened, it caused the divorce. And I remember watching him in a show or whatever it was on the news. They're talking about it, and you could just tell. He was exhausted. He was devastated.
Their marriage fell apart, didn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Their marriage
started drinking apart. Also.
Yeah. And so, but you could just see, like, I mean, even as I'm talking about it now, my heart just fills up with so much, you know. So,
and a piece that we've not talked about lately, but I think about the family as well is Dylan Rounds. Because it was so in the forefront, and then
the mom,
and that mom is such another strong woman that has been out there, and that case has kind of lacked the kind of case has kind of fallen off the attention that it was getting early on. So
the only thing
that poor guy's never been found either.
I know. I mean, and yes, admiration to your mom. The only thing that bugged me was honestly, and it doesn't matter, is that you don't slag the people that are trying to help you. So when she went on and constantly was trashing the YouTube sleuths, and then because the news coverage isn't as grand as it was, but meaning now she uses the sleuths to go back to. So that's what I'm saying. You don't look gift horses in the mouth. When you have people out there that want to bring attention, there's always going to be good and bad, no matter if it's in real news or online.
And stuff how hard it is to see that in the moment, especially when you know how hard it could be to see that in the moment, though, when you're going through trauma.
In the moment, right? Yeah.
I mean, I get in retrospect. I'm hoping
she's a no filter type of person. That she's like me. Like she's like me, to be honest with you. No filter. You say what's.
And I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah. Well, it's not the fact that she's right or wrong, to be honest, in a sense, because I'm a no filter type of person too. I say what I'm feeling at the moment. So, granted, she said that, but sometimes it can come back to bite you in the butt, because when you're saying that, and then there's all these people out there that want to help you, right. But this is why I try over the years to have some filter that way,
right?
Because I know lots of times that I can put my foot in my mouth, and do stuff like that. So I have to be careful, because I speak from my heart and off the top of my head. And
to be honest, that was a big thing. That was a big factor in the Madeleine McCann case as well. Is that very, very early on in that case, there was a lot of disagreement in the way the family wanted things done, and the Portuguese police were doing things, and in the way the family was treated by the Portuguese police, and the way the family would then talk to the public about the police, and it created a wedge that still to this day exists, and and to think that didn't play a part in the fact that it's been it's been 17 years since Madeleine McCann went missing, and they've still never found her. That there was, because there was division between law enforcement and that family from the get-go, and it only got worse over the years.
Yeah. And true crime mama, sorry about, so she's saying that my brother was killed in 2017. I was 37 at the time. I can't imagine at Kelsey's age, the strength that she has shown at such a young age. Absolutely. You know what? Like I said, for all those people that tried to accuse Kelsey, shame on you. Like, shame on you. You go walk of shame, because any common sense minded person could see that you're not going to be part of this and then take on everything that she did. Just stupid, just ridiculous. Kelsey has shown nothing but strength, maturity, leadership, love for her sister, all those things. And she honestly is the epitome of what a sister. I would love for my sister, if that happened to me, that I had a sister that fought and worked and dedicated that so much that it actually changed her career, and again, everything happens for reasons in hindsight. Kelsey's life, her path changed for a reason, as well. But I commend her more than anything. I just honestly have the utmost respect for Kelsey and what she has done to fight for her sister. Absolutely.
Yep. That's why I'm so excited to see her in Atlanta. But 15 years. Sorry, I said 17. Madeline McGann was 15 years ago. It was 2007.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It almost feels like it was yesterday. I still remember like the People magazine.
Madeline McCain, that one, the Madeline McCain
Madeline
story.
McCann was, it was 15 years ago, not 17.
It doesn't even seem like that. Like, meaning I remember it definitely, but it doesn't seem like it. It's crazy, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like
Natalie Holloway was 17 years.
That's the one in Aruba, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But Scott Peterson's thing I saw pull up today or something. So
that's been like 20 years.
20 years.
20. Yeah.
20 years.
I think that Connor, that little boy would have been 20 years old now, or 21 years old. Had he been born?
Scott Peterson. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, I'm ready to call it a night myself.
Yeah.
Alexa, you look like you're stirring in your seat like I am a little bit.
My
butt is getting sore.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you, Adam. Thank you for letting me crash your party.
Oh no, anytime.
No, thank you.
You know that you're welcome anytime. You're a joy and a pleasure.
Thank you.
Now get off.
So
no, just kidding.
No. And we'll be on tomorrow night on It's a Crime and Shame at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
What we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure yet.
Oh, well, whatever. YOLO.
Right. Guess we need to figure that out, Sunny.
What is tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So whoever's free, Lex, if you're free, feel free to come on. If you're not, then don't. But you're always welcome, regardless. You're not no third wheel or
open invitation.
Wheel. So it's always an open invitation.
Your input is always valuable and welcome.
Thank you.
And intelligent.
I just don't like taking up people's time all the time.
No.
I don't.
I just sometimes, I don't want to bore people and be like, oh God, she's there again. Oh my
Alexa,
God. Like, why don't they get a new guest?
First of
all, people are like, keep Alexa, drop Adam, drop Sunny.
Yeah, right.
Keep Alexa. They're like, Alexa, start your own channel.
When Alexa says that, I'm like, all I can think about when she says that is insecure, because she's thinking for other people instead of for herself.
Well, I think that was my own channel. I'm like, no one's going to watch that.
Yeah. It reminds me of my sister. Nobody's gonna want to listen to what I say. No,
and it's not insecure. No, believe me, I'm not. That's something I
get what you're
insecure. But it's just you don't want to bore people and be like, oh, she's there.
Yeah, but
like,
you're putting right. But who cares if we bore people, they're not gonna come watch.
No, I know. No, I don't care about the people, but I just don't want to ruin your channel. I'd be like, your ratings go down, and instead of getting 4,000 views, you get like 1,000 views.
And subscribe. No,
Alexa, if anyone's going to ruin these channels, it's going to be Sunny and me.
Yeah. But I get it because Alexa, she's kind of like myself too, and my twin. That you're always thinking. You're always thinking of the answer ahead of time, or the thought ahead of time, because you're trying to be, respectful in a sense by saying, hey, like, I because I get it. If somebody kept, if somebody asked to do something, if someone says, hey, do you want to come on, the channel? Obviously, then would be like, sure, yeah, no problem. Right. It's one thing if that, or if somebody more says, hey, can I come on, type of idea.
And other mode.
Yeah, but I get it. Alexa's trying to think out of courtesy, but yet by the same token, it's still going to make me laugh a little bit because obviously you're not going to drive away people.
We value what you have to say, and we value what input. We value what you contribute to the conversation.
Yeah, like us, you're like the part of the family, like Lewis as well, and right, you just come on,
and you have insight that we don't have in certain things.
Yeah. And then, and Deb too. Deb's gonna, like I said, one day she's gonna surpass us all. Then I'm probably gonna have to put the heat on soon. I think on you, Deb, on there. But no, it to me it's just like family. Like,
it becomes.
I am not an overthinker that way. I am like you that way, like to overthink, but in certain things for sure. I like, for instance, if I'm talking to somebody and I can see that they're trying to have to go, sometimes it depends. I'll do two things. I notice it and I'll keep you longer just because I feel like it. or two, I, hurry up the conversation. So I always hated it all my life when people assume just because you're a talker, they're like, oh yeah, don't have really time to talk to her. All you need to do is literally tell me that you need to be somewhere. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Okay, no problem. Okay, we'll talk to you soon then. Do you know?
Right.
Whereas people have in your head because you're a talker that somehow it's going to be a 2-hour conversation. That's a you problem and not a me problem because I
Right. We know it'll be a 4-hour one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Diamond.
Yeah.
I agree. I
Anyway.
was joking with Deb earlier today because Deb had said, she's like it's funny because her and I both started putting out like little shorts at the same time and everything, and and I was like, but we both are so like proud of each other when it, like, because I'm not gonna get like 5,000 views on a short or something like that, and so like so Deb got to 200. So I was like, oh my god, that's incredible, and she's like, oh my gosh, it's incredible, and I was like, watch, Deb, a year from now we're gonna be like I don't like her.
No, what they're going to say is,
and that would never be us.
No, you support each other, and and that's something that I like. That I like this vibe in here.
It's the same kind of, it's because I think we can be an example of, the type of it's a community to help each other. It's true crime. We're all here for the same reason. We're here to support each other. We're here to find, to help the missing and the murdered, and to bring justice to things. And it's not about us. It doesn't have to be about drama. And and I want other people to, like, I'm not competitive. I want everyone to succeed. I want to be a part of that community, and I'm grateful to even be a part of the conversation.
Yeah,
and so if I know people that are doing well, it makes me feel so happy.
No, and that's one of the things I liked about you guys, that you always support our other channels, and you always, we're dropping links and saying, I love when people comment to the lives and they're like, can I mention another channel? And they're like,
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, because in other channels they don't let you. That's like, I remember I went to, now he became very popular, but back in the day that was one of the first channels that I went to, and I mentioned somebody else's channel and everybody freaked on me, and I was like, okay, I guess
that means they're afraid of competition then or something. That's like an insecure problem to me.
Well, it can go both ways. It can go they don't want people bashing, because sometimes go people and they start bashing another channel, and they don't want the negativity, or they don't want people dropping the links to others. They don't want them dropping, everyone needs to go check out this channel. So it can go both ways.
Yeah, but I like.
My thing is this, is like I said, there's some people out there in the world that don't like to train people because they don't want someone to be faster than them, better than them, this than them. Could give two rats' asses about that.
Your success does not reflect, your success does not make me less, and does not intimidate me. It makes me proud to know you.
It makes me proud when I see people doing things that they love. Because again, I know there's simplistics of life and how easy it is. It doesn't have to be complicated. Life does not have, people make it complicated. People are the ones creating the problems.
I've been that way with my hair salon my entire life too. I've never been in competition with another person, because I'm like, what? Every single person in the world needs a haircut. And if someone else fits better into another salon, they should go to them. There's enough people that can come into my salon. I've never competed with anyone else other than myself.
Yeah, and especially and it's kind of like what we're saying, I think, in the other channel, is especially with women. I hate, women are the worst enemies, because they always have that jealousy, and I always think strong women should always support women, always be the biggest cheerleader.
Absolutely, It's, what? It's honestly very rare when another woman says to another woman, "You look beautiful."
Yeah.
It's like they hate giving compliments to each other.
The funny thing is, the real drama is with the boys.
That's true. That's true. In the true crime, it seems like it's more boys.
And I think it's all the community.
Boys. Yeah.
It's because I'm not saying anyone specific, but I think a lot of it is with pride and ego.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't have an ego for nothing at all. I don't do, for anyone that ever says I have an ego, I don't have an ego. I have a fight in me, You know, I have a passion in me. You know, ego, I would never use that word on me. Ego would mean, you know, like I said, that I would have to be egotistical, like I think I'm better than other people and stuff like that.
Right.
And I don't. I care about other people. Like I said, anyone that knows me, like I said, I don't have to have this a channel that doesn't promote or help other people. Why? You know, why not? We can. That's what we're out there for. Why not pay it forward somewhere? Why not? How I love teaching. I like showing what I'm gifted at to others. And just like if others have little traits,
if I believe in them.
If I believe in them, absolutely. You know, so and when people say like ego and stuff like that, but those are always the people that are the judgmental ones. You know,
I just think you can always tell that always shines through in life. You can tell the intentions of people when it, you know, maybe not at first, but it always comes to the surface.
Wait, that's what we were talking with Sunny yesterday. We said that it's like when people are fake. You know, on YouTube, you see so many people that put that fake persona, and sooner or later, that charade is going to come down, and you're going to see the truth, and then you're going to go like,
I couldn't pretend to be like that if I wanted to. Yeah. Hey, everyone.
That's one of the things I can never pretend, and maybe because I have such a.
I feel like, you know, I feel like, you know, like if you have skeletons in your closet, or you have things that you that you do not want out there, then you should not put yourself into a public platform and pretend to be something that you are not.
Absolutely.
And then expect that that's not going to come out
at some point, whatever. You know, I've always believed in, I got nothing to hide. Go look me up. I do not care.
Same.
I legitimately do not care. When you have nothing to hide, you don't care. That's why no one could ever, like I said, blackmail me in my life or anything, because I'm too truthful anyway.
I would say the only part of myself that the only part of myself that's different off of alive than it is on alive is that, you know, I can be a little bit more snarky and cheeky, you know, but that's just because, you know.
No.
I would say, but other than that, it's my personality is pretty much the exact same.
Yeah.
No, it's shocking.
That's the thing with me. I think the only thing that would be different is I'm more snappy in real life. I'm more like, I don't have patience, so I'm more.
I can see that.
We've seen you with your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like me too, but me and Lex are one of those ones. We are who we are. You either like it or lump it. You know, like I said, nobody can take away. And same with Adam. But even though I still think that me and Alexa over Adam, I don't think that we need other people's approvals in a sense as much that way. If you get what I mean, Adam.
I don't need other people's approval. I like to make sure that other people feel heard by me, even if I disagree with them, because
Well, I'm not the people pleaser.
I think you're more of a pleaser than we are. I don't.
You're definitely more of the people pleaser than we are.
I don't do it.
And I think you take more what people think about you more to heart than we do. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe. I mean, I look at it as
it's not a bad thing either.
No, I know. I try to look at it as like I try to find a way to connect with people.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah, I see that.
And maybe it is because I want to be accepted by them, but you know.
Yeah.
You know.
I still think it's more of this. Me and Alexa are older, and I think that we just have the more of
older.
Alexa's not older than me, I don't think.
No, I think by a year. I think I'm 42.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Well, just shut up.
You're calling me that I'm like 50?
Yeah.
I should say I'm 50. That way people look great for 50. People.
I think that me and Alexa are just at that we don't give a shit more attitude, like in a sense. Whereas Adam still kind of gives a shit. He's still trying to be nice, like, you know, like I said, like things that I see in chat, you know, when Adam says, or even when Deb said, like, I'm sorry, I'm coughing. No, don't apologize for somebody's rudeness. That those people are just rude. Whereas I'm just like,
I think they are caring. They're more caring than we are, and they
don't use the word.
They're the kind of people like he said, like they want to make sure that everybody is included.
Yeah.
I guess I know. Yeah, I mean, maybe I probably do care about people's opinions, but I also try to not to read. I also try to think of we don't. I think people assume people's intentions too easily a lot of times.
Yeah.
And
You always try to look at. See, with me, I am the type of person that I see you, and I always tell you those 42 seconds. If I don't like you in those 42 seconds, I will never like you. And
you've always said that.
And even here in YouTube, I have seen people that I just go, I don't like them. And sure enough, it's and that's the way it is. It's just, it's one of those things.
You look amazing for 52.
Yeah, but you can catch me in a day. Like, I mean, you can catch me in a day when that one day I was like,
remember that one day
I was telling that one person, I said, I know exactly what you're trying to imply here, and it's not going to work because you're trying to point this narrative into, So if I see through someone's bullshit right away, I call them out on it.
Yeah, sometimes. I was happy that day. Adam wasn't taking no shit from those people.
Half the time, I'm just really not paying it. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes either, and then something catches my eye. But the minute you smell rudeness and see rudeness, it's like, get out of here. I can't be asked and stuff like that. And no way should Dev ever apologize because someone kept insulting her or making comments about her cough and whatever. Okay, you say it once, Dev's aware. Thank you very much. Type of thing. And then, but out of natural habit,
Dev's Dev's such a kind person too,
Yeah, so after that's like, no, piss off person, like, shut up. If it's knowing you so much, then just don't watch. How hard is that? It
is the worst though when you're trying, because it's like you're bothered by it, you're doing it, and you're like, oh. And then someone points it out.
There's always somebody that's going to be bothered by something, and I'd actually,
Oh, my facial expressions bother half the people in the chat,
Okay. You know how many times I've read on Reddit that people have sent me, it's like, oh yeah, they said that your facial expressions, you have to cut them out because, especially when Sunny's talking and you make those eyes or you make this, and how dare you disagree with them? You go in the channel. It's like,
that's so funny because honestly, Adam, you do. Like I don't even really notice it until I'm watching a video back, and then you'll see Adam go,
Yeah, I know. The one that I like is the one that he goes,
I can't help it. I don't know I'm doing it, and I don't watch it back because it makes me cringe. So,
but I just love it with that perfect jaw that he has and that skin, right? Yes. And then that pouting lips, and I'm like, okay.
I know.
Can we get more perfect than that?
Oh yeah, Ray Jones, you don't miss anything there.
You love Adam for who he is or don't. It doesn't matter.
All of us.
So expressive with my face that I wish I wasn't sometimes because people can tell everything in my face.
But, what we're talking about now, I think that's actually part of what makes this interesting is because we do have different personalities and we do bring different things to the table, and the way you handle one thing is different than the way I might handle something.
All being genuine.
Well, so I don't remember who said it, but when I don't really take it as a compliment, but there's some truth to it that someone said one night they were like, it's kind of like watching The View.
Yeah,
and I was like, and I can see it, so I get that.
It is.
We have different ideas, different personalities, different opinions on things,
but it works.
But it works together because we're respectful and
The View without the shadiness in the back, because there's no shadiness in the back.
Bounty Hunter says 42 seconds is very specific. Can I ask Alexa why 42 seconds?
I guess it takes 42 seconds for my brain to compete. I mean to scan. I don't know.
Where did that number come from?
I don't know. Since I can remember. I guess that's how long my brain takes to do a full.
You've always said it. You said not 43, not 41. You've always said 42.
Always been 40 seconds. Yeah, and I always said it, and even in my real life, I always said it 42 seconds.
Yeah, because that is odd. Because to say 30 seconds is normal. Because I'm always like, if I don't like someone within 30 seconds.
And it's always, and it was one of those things that people used to call me when I used to work, and people would come in, and if they had a suspect or somebody, they would come in and say, "Hey, can you come here?" And just looked at him or look at her, whatever it was. And they would make me kind of in same thing, 42 seconds, and it would scan.
Should be the title of your book.
I know, right? 42 seconds.
How to tell who someone is in 42 seconds.
And I am telling you, in my life, in 42 years, only 2 people had fooled me. only two people. And those two people were close to me. One I always kind of knew, but I didn't want to see it.
Yeah, fooled you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one, it came out of nowhere he really fooled me. But only two people. But
yeah,
even and I had one with my husband that I remember that for maybe like 20 years, I kept saying to him, no, I don't like this person. I don't like this person. And he was like, no, oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
And sure enough, after 20 years, and finally he was like, you know what, you were right. And I'm like,
yeah,
right.
I feel like I can tell in the first 13 seconds.
Well, the thing is, though, is that there are people, though, that start off one way. Like, I'll just even use my ex-husband. Was a decent, okay guy for sure, but then, like I said, life changed his attitude. He changed as a person. The person that I married was not okay. There was little snippets of certain things, but I definitely would not have foresaw my ex-husband turning into the biggest miserable mother ever. Like, he literally turned cruel and mean. Just mean.
Was he always like that and you didn't want to see it?
No. Like I said, you saw a snippet. But do you know what I mean? We were together for 17 years. And out of those 17 years, 12 years, I would say, maybe 13, was he would never call me about the worst words we would typically call each other was the B word, the a-hole word. And that was pretty much it, right? He'd say, stop being a B. And I would be like, well, stop being an a-hole. And other than that, that was pretty much it. He never would ever comment on anything else. And then that one day in White Court, I just remember, like I said, he was already miserable at this point. It was his own misery. He just used me as his catalyst, to sit there and take it out on. I know that he has regrets for the whole thing. It was his own insecurities and his little daddy issues because his dad dying that he used his anger out on me. Like, it's like he built me up to be something in his head. I was just, hey, I don't love you because of this or that. I love you because I love you. I married you. I didn't, you don't sit there and say to someone, because you're having a piss off day or whatever. He just changed. What can I say? Whether he feels I changed or not, he just changed. I never became any worse of a person or anything like that.
What age do you think he changed?
He was 35. Whatever midlife crisis crap he had going on, he literally turned into a butthole. Okay. And he was literally went from, again, you saw the traits, but he never called me a word. There was only one day where whatever anger he was going through, he was literally sitting in a chair, literally looked at me and goes, you effing fat, lazy, bitch. And he would not stop. He would not stop. Once he said that, he just opened the door. And
how do you go back there?
Yeah, and this is where I went wrong. See, because I was like, you don't need to talk. Like, first of all, I was in shock. Like, what the heck? Where did that person come from? Like, I was in shock that all of a sudden, all those years, and then now this other person evolves, and now I'm like, really? Because the laziest person was my ex-husband. He went to work, and he worked hard, and he did a good job. But other than that, lazy father, lazy husband, lazy, clean, lazy. And I'm just like, really? But now my problem is that I stayed, because I lived in Whitecourt, Alberta, and all my family lived in here in BC. I could easily be my ex-husband's best friend to this day. Easily. No problem at all. He couldn't do it. So every day he woke up, he just opened the door and Matthew was witnessing it. And so Matthew started saying those exact same things to me. And I'm like, really, buddy? Really? Because he saw his dad open that door and mistreat me. And he took it because he was at 13, 14. And Matthew started saying those things to me. The exact same words. And that's where I went wrong. I thought, I didn't realize that Matthew was going to take on this role of his father and take on that he was going to start calling his mom these names. couldn't believe that my son was actually doing that. But that's because he was looking for his dad's love. And he knew
he had yours.
He was basically, they were both just picking on me, really. And I was trying to keep I could have easily have lived there with my ex-husband, being ex-husbands, whatever, ex-husbands, ex-partners, meaning if we could do that for Matthew, no problem, because he didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody. All my family lived in BC, so why couldn't you? I can do that. That's where I know I'm the better person, because I could have easily have said, you know what, I'm sorry that this is the way it's gone. We can still remain friends. We can still be a good parents to our kid. I didn't, there was no need to make him hate me. There was no need to plant those seeds. There was no need of it,
That's
right.
And so it's just kind of like, so that's what I mean. That's nothing that I would have foreseen. I would have foreseen that he had that little bit of a jerkish side for sure, but I saw that. But never would I predict that he went to that whole different other person that was so angry. That I couldn't predict. So that one I don't want to say I was fooled by it. I wasn't fooled.
It's just
that people change as time goes on. What you were when you're 21 when I met him versus 35. And what he was going through,
the inadequacies they start to feel about themselves start to grow and grow. Hormonal changes, love change, all sorts of things go into play. But it's still no excuse.
No.
I mean, I know for me, like my ex, I mean, there was a huge shift after his dad died, and it was like this a switch flipped, and for a year and a half it just got worse and worse. So
how long were you with your ex?
13 years.
Oh wow.
Long time.
That's a long time. That's a
27 to 40.
Yeah, exactly. And then like I said, so certain situations like that, it's not that you're so much fooled, it's just that they literally change. People change.
And not that I didn't change, but I didn't change in that way.
In a dramatic way. And it's so true what you say, because I see my boys and my twins, they're like such a mama's boys, and you can tell their mom, and they say it all the time. They're like they don't even have shame. They're like they're like a mama's
boy.
But you can tell when my husband comes home, like especially when he didn't work, when he was working outside the house.
I'm here still.
You can tell when my husband comes in, like the way they light up, and they imitate him so much, because to them that's the hero.
Yeah,
that's like the biggest hero. Yes, and you can see it. Like they try, even sometimes I catch one of my boys like trying to imitate like the way he does. And my husband is left-handed, and this one is my son's are right-handed, and they're like trying to do things like the father, and it's just so sweet to see. And that's why I said to my husband, there's a couple of things that he does, and I said, well, you have to get a little bit better at it, because they're looking at you, not at me. I mean,
the funny thing is, I think a lot of times boys, though, once they get to be teenagers, like older and adolescents, I think they actually start to flip on that, and they start to, because I think they start to, as they become more mature, like they feel like they're becoming more mature, their dad becomes more the enemy, and their mother is the one they want to protect. And I mean,
you would think so, but
and that's how it is, because that's how we are. I mean, and I see it, because usually the way you treat, and I remember somebody told me this years ago,
mother.
The way that a man treats the mother is the way he's going to treat the wife and the kids. And I always
absolutely love
that. I found something interesting. I heard something interesting the other day. It was about, I don't know if I've said it on here or not before, but it was that something that someone said to me, and I was like, it made so much sense. They were like, what women don't realize a lot of times is that they end up searching for a partner that emulates the way they either wanted their father to treat their mother, or the way their father treated their mother.
Yeah.
So whether it was good or bad, it's like they wanted with the way they wanted to see a man treat their mother, and then the way women look for a male partner or the way men look for a female partner is how their mother treated them.
Yeah. And that's why we see so many violent cycles, because the kids see the father beating up the mother and they think it's okay and they do it, and that's why the violence.
Well, exactly, and that's why it just breaks my heart that the father would literally do that. All like meaning Steve, the ex, would do that in front of his own son. Like, how do you not grasp the damage that you're doing there? How do you bestow that type of stuff on a child? It's your responsibility as a parent to make sure that that child's in a like a loved environment and stuff like that. And there's just no need of it. And so, absolutely, children are a product of their environment. And when I see the way that my husband talks to his mom, it literally makes me tear up, because he treats me with that same kindness and love. I mean, yes, yesterday, honey, you were kind of being a jerk, but I understand why. He was feeling attacked, but yet I wasn't attacking him. I was trying to whatever, but you know how certain things are triggers or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
In a sense, and it was kind of like. But then he has a hard time because he doesn't really know how to. He doesn't really know how to apologize, and so he was just like, he always says this thing, and he's like, "Come here," and I'm like, cancer. They're both cancers, yeah. And then he's like, come here, or whatever. And so I'm just like, no, you hurt my feelings, or whatever. Because my husband, like I said, he's always kind and loving, and then those little times where he gets a little snappy, that's the Brit, okay? Yeah. That's the Brit ass in him that pisses me off, because I can have it, he can't have it. I know, but anyways, the way he treats his mother is so endearing. And it hurts me. My own son, I'm literally telling, okay, bud, I'm tired of trying with you. Like, seriously, you're not going to treat me like a dog and some leftover,
Right.
Because in
and
my
I would
head,
say Diamond Eyes, I agree with Diamond Eyes, but I think there's a difference between mama's boys and men that treat their mothers with respect.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think that's just a way that you then treat women in general.
Correct. Because even I know the difference too between the mama's boys and then the ones that treat with respect. But the
mama boys are the ones that are just looking for a wife to take their mom's place.
Yeah. No. I hope they're not like that, but yeah.
But you know what? Again, and who knows? You can never predict life, type of idea. My wish will always be that when people do separate, there's no need of it. Doesn't even if they cheated on you, doesn't matter. It has no place to put the children in the middle of any of it.
But unfortunately, that's not the way it worked. I mean, my parents had a nasty divorce, like really nasty, and even they divorced when I was 3, and I was still 18, and they still were like pulling me in the middle, and he wouldn't go here, and she wouldn't go, and it was just so awkward.
Well, and that was one thing that I don't have children, but that was one thing with my ex that I vowed from the second we decided to split up. I said, no matter what, this will not turn ugly, and even if that means I have to be the person that makes it short. Because there were definitely times that there were attempts made on the other side, and I don't always handle life with grace and dignity or whatever it is. Whatever, but I took every single aspect of that breakup, and I was the bigger person, and I walked away from it being able to say that I did everything the right way.
Yeah. And that's something good, because you can, wherever you are, you can hold your head high and say, hey, I did this like this.
And I don't speak ill of him. I still won't. He's not a bad person.
No.
And I never will.
It's gonna work out. Yeah. Same thing.
That's how I feel about it too. My son, my ex-husband, and no Lisa. My ex-husband, I tried that, but it doesn't matter. To him, I'm this B from H now, and all he ever says to me is, I paid enough money not to talk to you. No, dude, you didn't pay me enough. Trust me. I worked harder than you ever did in your life. But anyways, that's all he'll ever say. He has so much hate in his life at me, in his own life, and stuff like that. So no, he is not that. Like, it's so crazy how someone comes off to people. Everyone that would meet him would like him because he would have that pretense. But this evil side of him that came out, but this like meaning like this even eviler side, it's just it's you know when you look at someone and you're like, yeah, I can't picture that. But trust me,
I feel sorry for people that hold that
type of anger.
I mean, look, and you've been divorced for how long? And the fact that you still hold that much power over your ex-husband's mind, it makes me feel sad for him.
You know what? I remember when I was standing up on the back balcony, and then he was griping. We were kind of going back and forth, and then he's like, and I was just trying to talk to him. I said, well, like you don't need to do this. Like you don't need to be this mean and whatever. And then he went to go make a comment that I caught, and he went to said, well, it's kind of too late, isn't it? Absolutely. You took me past the point of no return. You had chances in there, but now you took it too far. And once I make that phone call that says I'm coming home, is the minute I am done and I've moved forward already. Do you know?
But I don't think he did. He probably
did. But he never did. Whereas like I sent my ex a Christmas card to him and his family this year, and and I didn't need to do that, but I said, I know this is probably a hard holiday because it's only the second holiday since your father passed, and you know what, we're not together, but I still am thinking about you at this time.
Adam, it's the difference.
You have moved on, but he hasn't moved on.
Yeah,
but that cost me nothing.
It's also the difference between, to me, what I deem as, people of the earth that have the bigger heart, or the big, you know what I mean? In a sense, like meaning, I could, like I said, if even if my ex called up today and said, "Can we let bygones be bygones?" I would say I would do it. If it meant that on felt better because we were able to get along, I could have done it in the first place. So I'm that better person, and I don't need any accolades or patting on the back. I know that I can do stuff like that, but those other people can't. So to me, those people are commendable that can do stuff like that. And
you have a child involved. There's a difference there.
It doesn't. But the thing is that, like I said, people get nasty. People get they put their children in the middle of things. Correct. In a perfect world, it wouldn't happen. But I always knew, so I didn't. What's the word I want to use? I didn't mean to put Matthew in the middle of his dad calling me names and it creating Matthew to have, watching this, and then it would create him to start calling me names, and this would create a little monster. I didn't even think that was going to happen whatsoever. I wasn't thinking about that, so I didn't mean to. But I would never intentionally put my son in the middle of an issue myself. But that's just the way I work. Just like I go to work and no one knows if I'm going to have a good day or a bad day. Like they don't know if I got beat up that day and went to work. They don't know that because I'm not going to tell them that. I'm going to go smiling because that's the way I do things. Doesn't mean everyone does things the right way. And I'm not sitting there trying to preach it either. But I'm just saying that I'm wise enough to know that kids do not belong or should not be put in the middle of things and cause them issues, or anxiety or stress purposefully. It's one thing when you unintentionally it happens, but you don't.
But I don't think you did that. I think you're.
No, absolutely not.
I don't think so.
So I can walk away and go.
Yeah.
You know what, Matthew?
And that's the difference. I probably would not have been able to do. I probably would not have been able to walk away from the situation I walked away from if I had had a child to defend in the process.
Yeah.
So
a friend of mine is a divorce attorney, and he always used to say to me, "You never know somebody. You really never get to know somebody until you're divorcing them."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have seen. We had friends in common that we thought they were the perfect couple, and they were married for like 14 years, I think. And then when they got divorced, they got so nasty that we were like, "Where is this coming from?" And things that they did that you would never think of doing.
Well, you know what, Alexis? That's the same thing. Anyone that knew that me and Steve, everyone knew that we were best friends. Like my ex-husband, that we were best friends. Mm-hmm. Everyone saw us as a perfect couple, you know. And the thing is that that's how I saw it. Not that we were perfect, but
Yeah, of
meaning
course.
we went over the lumps and things together, and you know, we just, you know, we're best friends going through it.
Right.
That's the shocking part. And so when the divorce happened, is absolutely right. This person that I didn't exist, like I said, I remember him looking at me and going something like, he said something, and I said, so when the going gets tough in the marriage, when the first thing comes up, then you get going, because meaning either you were man enough to talk to me about it, you know, but instead you want to hold on to whatever issues you're having. So meaning to me, that was kind of like this hurdle that we were just going through, you know. So
Right.
really, so you go to the bank and you come back from the bank all grumpy and miserable, and then next thing I know, I'm not your wife anymore, and that's, you know, and screw Matthew and screw you, and I got to worry about myself attitude. What? Really? So that's how it works. Oh, okay. You know, but that's when you realized at that moment that you're, you know what? Oh, okay. If that's how much my value is to you,
Right.
when that one bigger hurdle comes along and you get going.
When that's when you realize you're no longer working
Right.
towards the same,
Together, yeah.
and that
Name calling, pushing me into the garbage can and
Yeah.
stuff like that. No,
We're
the
not a
minute you
team
started getting
anymore.
physical and
And that was like the one thing I told my husband, and I always said to him, "You lay one hand on me, ever, not that he would ever."
fingers works though, right?
And I always said it to everybody: "You're dead.
Yeah.
You are absolutely dead." And I think every time, like, you know, when we fight, he always like walks away, like he's always scared. He's like, "Oh."
But yeah,
It's
there's
so
a difference between fighting and that, and then, you know, but the second
Yeah.
you realize that you're no longer a team,
No.
Yeah.
and that you've gone in so far different directions that you can't see each other anymore.
Yeah.
No, and when you start disrespecting each other, like calling
Yeah.
each other's names,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
physically
I mean, like,
assaulting each other, time
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
coming back from when you don't respect your partner. There's no coming back from that.
No.
Like
Yeah.
when you've lost respect for them as a.
Yeah. And I love how my son put it there too, when he was like he said something like, both of you were shitty parents. Really? Don't ever put me in that category. Don't ever, as your mother, put me in that category. I was never a shitty parent. I was never a shitty parent to my son. Never. Never, never, never. Do you know, I took my role as a mother, you know, like I said, my son was my gift. Do you know, on my worst day as a mother, that was his dad's best day. It's like when you sit there and insult me like that too, dude, you're like, buddy, like I said, you know, but the thing is that that's how will say it. Those are his words and terminology, how he wants to say it. But for me, that's so hurtful. Don't ever put me in, you're both shitty parents. No. I won't accept that. You know, don't ever put me in that category. But again, you know, my son holds obviously everybody else on a better platform in a sense than his own mother. You know, like why I said to Matthew, why is it that my love for you is unconditional, but you have to have conditional love on me? Why is it?
Because
You know, like,
he knows your love on him is not conditional, and
know.
so he knows he can treat you that way.
Yeah.
He knows that your love is unconditional, and he knows that his dad's isn't. I'm assuming, you know, he knows that no matter what, you'll be there waiting.
Yeah. You know, I just I just wanted him to. I would just like to him apologize. Like, Mom, I'm mature enough now that look, I can say that I said some really rotten things to you.
Hopefully, you get that someday.
He will.
Maybe.
Believe me, he will. One day he will.
Maybe.
When he realizes.
Anyways, what's your last thoughts, Alexa?
Yeah.
Well, you were gonna say something, but then you
no. I even forgot what I was gonna say. But anyways,
well, at the end of the day, be kinder, be nicer.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, and I love, you know, like the quote that I put is that as the thumbnail on the video that I posted was a quote that Becky had posted at one point, and I don't think there's anything more true that can be said that when, you know, the quote was, don't ever save anything for a special occasion. Being alive is the special occasion.
That is true. Like how many times we do that and say no, we save it for a special.
Right. And you might not get in that, or you know, even even saying that you're sorry, or saying that that you love someone. Don't ever not do it because you're mad in that moment, or you think I'm gonna make the because what if that moment doesn't come and you lose your chance?
It's true.
When my husband tries to give me a little peck on the lips when he's leaving for work, okay, no, sorry, I'm not good with that, because if something happened to me, you would regret that you didn't give me your time, just like I would. So meaning I'm always very conscious that somebody's life could end that day. You never know. So when my husband tries to give me a little peck, not going to happen, dude.
Right.
You better give me a proper kiss, because again, I don't want someone to have that regret if something, or myself if something happened.
Yeah, that is true. And I always say that to my kids. You never know. Like today we're here, tomorrow we might not.
Right. And like Diamond I said, any day above ground is good. A day in Newfoundland saying, and absolutely, because and even if you feel like it's too late, or too much time has gone, or it's too far gone, it's never. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you're alive, you have the opportunity to do anything you want with it.
Mm-hmm. That's where
now I'm gonna get all. I'm getting all like into like
you always read. No, but it's a good thing, because especially for New Year's, because a lot of people are by themselves and they're alone and they feel depressed and everything. And this is actually good. Don't feel like that. Just because some of us have a family doesn't mean anything. I can send you my family if you want. Anybody wants family? Yeah. It's my family.
Sometimes people are better off being alone when they see some of these marriages.
Yes.
But yeah, my
you have a new opportunity every day to change your life or start something new.
Keep it southern style.
That is true.
Keep it northern style. I live in Canada. Keep it northern style, people. Okay. Anyways, you guys, numbers are dropping. People are going to bed.
It's 2 a.m.
Yes.
Oh my God, 2:00. Holy cow!
Yeah, 11 here, people.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah, Adam. We're on your channel, so I'll say good night. You guys have a good night. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, we'll say good night, and then thank you so much, and then everyone will see you tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on It's a Crime and Shame, and then I'm sure we'll be talking about Delphi, Idaho.
We're going to talk about Alexa's a hoe. That's Alexa, Idaho. Yeah, right? Alexa. Oh, and tell your husband too, because it really pissed me off when you said that. Tell him those earrings
are not too much.
Stunningly beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
They're gorgeous. I want them. I'm jealous.
Thank you.
It was one of the first things I noticed. I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, I know, right?
There you go, Alexa.
Yeah.
Adam,
that's how compliments your hair color. I know.
Yeah. Good night, Cheryl.
Good night, everyone. And if we don't see each other, Happy New Year.
Yeah. Lisa, night, Ray, if you're still here.
I'm sure we'll probably see each other.
Daisy.
I'm sure we'll see each other.
Yeah.
Grizz
said go to bed.
No, Grizz. What Grizz needs to do is win a damn poker tournament and then donate to the darn channel. Give us some of those profits, dude. Yeah.
And everyone buy those Powerball tickets.
Ooh, what's that?
What's that again? How much?
I think I don't know. I heard it was big though. I think it's tomorrow night.
Ooh, buy Powerball tickets. Callie, if you're watching this ever tomorrow, make sure you buy them. Okay. I want my island. Who wore it better? Alexa did.
So, everyone, thank you for joining us. I know that it wasn't a lot of people in here tonight, but there never are when it's a tribute thing. So
no,
we will we'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay. Night, everyone. Take care, guys. Oh, look at Grizz. I'm trying. Bye, Grizz. Have a good
day. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, Alexa. Thank you
for having me. Appreciate it.